Welcome to the first Club World Cup Fantasy video and podcast. Well, no, the first deadline stream, but it is a late night, so there will be mistakes made, and I'll be honest, the technology has been kind of messing me about in the last couple of minutes. I've been trying to set it up whilst the music was playing, you know, the nice tunes, but this will actually be the 10th video and podcast, if you can count it as that, of Club World Cup Fantasy already, and from this deadline onwards, I'll mainly be doing deadline streams, team selections, and best wildcard squads like I did for the World Cup and the Euros, and that will basically be after the Matchday 1 deadline. So that will be the plan. But if you want to see other content, then let me know down in the comment section below. But I have covered pretty much most of it in terms of rules, form of every single club, the most informed players themselves, and everything that you need. Premiums, differentials, budget picks, you name it. But I'm going to start off with the comments as well, and hopefully things do actually work here. But yeah, I've been doing a bit of testing, and yeah, interesting things are ahead. Welcome, Yannon. Good to see you. Woo, let's go. That's one way of putting it, that's for sure. Lager says, hello, Dylan, and thanks for all the great videos so far. You did great. I appreciate it, Lager. And there might be one or two screens that look a bit unfinished right now. I'm not sure why, but basically in the last 20 minutes or so, when I thought I had everything set up, it just wasn't the case. But yeah, I will fix it in time anyway, and we can focus on your questions, make sure you're all prepared for the Matchday 1 deadline, and look in my own team. I'm going to try not leave that until the very last minutes, which I sometimes do in UCL Fantasy and FPL. Richard Millichip says, hey Dylan, thanks for doing content for this tournament. It's what made me decide to play. That's, well, I'm flattered. I'm not going to lie to you. You can tell by my reaction, but yeah, I'll be honest, I was kind of thinking maybe I'll, pass it, not do content and not even play the game, but it was quite interesting to me. And there was a few rules like the scouting bonus, which was, quite appealing. So in the end, I decided to cover it, and I was able to find the time. Thankfully, it was a bit of a grind, but yeah, just like the Euros last summer, and we've got the World Cup next year, so bring it on. Easy says, hey Dylan, how are you? Good. Maybe a little tired, you could say, and yeah, just a bit preoccupied with the graphics and making sure everything is fine, but all good. Hopefully you are too. Dembele, yes, he's going to be injured for the rest of the group stages. That's what Fabrice Hawkins talked about. I covered that update several podcasts ago, and I've made sure to mention it across 3 or 4 videos, so that has been covered. Easy puts his team as well: Coble, Armani, Hakimi, Dumfries, Cucurella, Maura, Cancelo, De Arrascaeta. I know I'm Argentinian, but yeah, I don't know why I just struggle with that name. Dembele, Kimmich, Rafael Vega, Pedro Neto, Kane captain, Messi as the vice, and Juan Lopez. Well, with the vice captaincy, yeah, fair enough. You have to pick a vice captain, but Messi does play first, so you could captain Messi and then change it to Harry Kane. But of course, both of them play on the 15th of June technically, so you basically have both your captains playing on the same day, but it's still possible to do that. It's not like UCL Fantasy where you're limited per se to one captain per day within the match day. In this case, you can only change it once. I've been asked this in the Discord server just now and across several videos. People are still confused about it, but if you have played the World Cup, you pick one captain. Once they have played, you can switch it once more to someone who hasn't played yet, and that's it. You can't pick a captain for tonight on the 15th of June, then the 16th, 17th, and 18th. You can't do that. So you won't have 4 opportunities at the captaincy, only 2 if you decide to switch. Gary says, let's go Dylan. Club World Cup and UFC up all night. Yeah, I was up all night yesterday, and it wasn't a good idea. I should have slept a little bit more. But yeah, I won't be watching UFC, to be honest. And depending on if we reach our goal for the Super Chats, I'll be happy to go on a little bit longer, beyond the deadline at midnight. But this is the latest deadline stream I've ever done. We'll see the reception. There's already 200 people here, which I do appreciate. I'll be honest, I would probably be sleeping or doing something else. Kevy says, hey buddy, definitely needing the help with a team for this. First time doing Club World Cup. Yeah, I mentioned this in my Update Lineups podcast earlier. Yes, I did another video. It is quite daunting when you approach a new game, when you don't know much about certain teams, you've never watched them play before. The same goes for certain players, but yeah, hopefully this content has helped you and you've got a better idea now of the best assets and teams, and you're well prepared for that Matchday 1 deadline. So yeah, exactly that. I just mentioned it now to Easy. That is exactly the way you want to go about it. You captain Messi first, and if he is a bit disappointing, or you want more points because you're greedy, you can then switch it to Harry Kane. That's exactly how it works. But after Harry Kane and Messi have both played and you've captained both of them, you can't change it anymore. Christian United says, my team name should have been the Tinkerman. Yeah, I've done a lot of drafts myself, so I can't really take the piss or say anything. FPL Rohits, good to see you. Hola Dylan, thanks for making Club World Cup content. Such a great help. Let's go, mate. I appreciate the kind words. The same goes to everyone else in the live chat. And yeah, the aim is to make some insightful content, which is quite tough because sometimes I'm a bit of a mug, but I do try my best, that's for sure. Yannon says the rumours of a Bayern B team is scary. That is true. I referred to it briefly in my Update Lineups podcast earlier. Now, Kicker, several days ago, I think it was on Thursday, they put a lineup out, and I'll show it very soon once more, because it's essentially my predicted lineup, and it looks quite strong. But there is a possibility that we see something a little bit different, and we see a lot of rotation. Gosh, I can't wait. Yeah, this guy's taking the piss, because I know him. Just saying, but I appreciate it. Gary says, ready and locked in. Well, I wish I was locked in. I'll be honest, I'll probably make several changes to this team. Christian United says, I had 3 Dortmund players, now none. I should get at least 1. For Matchday 1, I think Fluminense could be quite decent and a tough opponent for Dortmund, but I think 1 or 2 is the sweet spot. You don't need to have a Dortmund player, but I think they offer good value across all positions. Now, I'm less keen now on Svensson because his ownership might be above 5% now. So it says, yeah, 5.5%. That was the main appeal behind this pick. So, like I said, I'm going to make several changes to my team now. Welcome, Morpheus. We spoke a little bit in the Discord server. Good to see you. Gustavo says, difficult to decide. Kane not really nailed, I think. Well, they are facing Auckland City, the worst ranked team in this tournament, and it's a nice opportunity to give players like Kane a rest and have them ready for the tougher games like Boca Juniors and Benfica. If I captain Messi, can I change to Kane? Yes. But after that, so assuming that Messi and Kane have both played, you've captained both of them, you can't change it anymore for Matchday 1. But that's exactly how it goes, what you just said. Pan Funko Pop says, hey Dylan, I would like your opinion on my team. Marchesín, Armani, 2 Argentinians, you can't go wrong there. Colwill, Asensio, Stanisic, Kelly, Carreras, Mastantuono, Bellingham, Palmer, Olise, De Arrascaeta, Kane, Garassi, and Pavlidis, 12-man Haaland. Love it. Erling Haaland, I'd arguably say is a better option than maybe even Harry Kane this week, depending on the kind of starting probabilities. But yeah, you can't captain Haaland because he's your 12th man. So just be aware of that. If you're happy with that decision, then that's fine. I think he's a great pick for the 12th man anyway. And I like Pavlidis and Garassi. They offer great value. If Harry Kane starts, he's probably the best captain on paper. But that is the biggest doubt. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be asked this a lot. Will Kane start? Will Coman? All these Bayern players? I couldn't guarantee you either way. But with what you have, very happy with it for the most part. Anything I'd particularly change? I mean, I do prefer Summer, Kobel, some of these goalkeepers over Marchesín. But yeah, it's a very solid squad overall. It's well thought out. There's not many issues with it per se. Maybe 1 or 2 players are out of form, like Bellingham and Cole Palmer. I don't think they've been at their best in 2025, but they've got the ability and they could have a great tournament. So they are solid picks regardless. Oh, Channel 5. Okay, I didn't know it was tonight. Makes sense as the opening game. Yeah, I'll have a look. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, all you need to do is sign up to the Zone and just register as a free user, and you can watch every single game, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another way of watching Club World Cup. Christian says, I'm not changing from Aguilar, Haaland, and Kane. It's a solid front three, but you've also got Garassi, Pavlidis, Alvarez. There's so many great options up front, so it's difficult to narrow it down to 3. But if you're happy with your picks, that's fair enough. Gary says, let's go. Yes, exactly that. God, I cannot decide on a team. You and me both, mate. I'm the exact same right now. So yeah, football, the game we all love and hate sometimes. Butcher says, hello, good to see you. Gary says, oh, I just clicked the leaderboard by accident. That's a new thing in YouTube, by the way. You would have seen it in my UCL Fantasy deadline stream a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, 10th, oh my god, what about a footy holiday? Yeah, exactly, 10th video and podcast. This was supposed to be it. But because they released the Club World Cup fantasy game in the end, I was like, okay. And enough people, said in my UCL Fantasy and FPL streams and stuff that they wanted to see more content. So, the people spoke, I answered, Some people hate me, some people don't. Here I am. Oromara says, hello, Dylan. How are you doing? Can I send my draft on your Twitter? Yeah, I'll try to have a look, but I'll be honest, like, because I'm mainly focusing now on the chat and my own team. But do remind me, and I'll try to have a look. I might not show it on screen, but yeah, we can sort that out. Welcome, Miguel Correira from Portugal. Which team do you support? That's what I'm wondering, but greetings to you as well. And also thank you to Lager for becoming a differential. And yeah, we've got new level badges. You might recognize them from Uncharted 2. A great game back in the day. I'm still debating Alberto Costa, mate, says Antonio Almeida. I'm debating my whole 50-man squad, so I get you. Best 6-point family midfielder. My favourites in terms of budget midfielders would be Mastantuono, Rodrigo Mora, and probably Ashur. Now, there is Julian Brandt at specifically 6.5 million. I think he's a good option for the group stages, but he doesn't score many goals. That's my problem with him, but he does get the assists, and the fixtures are very positive. Yeah, now, I'll be honest, it does say in the rules the ownership figure has to be less than 5%. But in websites like fantasyfootballpundit.com, and I'll show you some of the stats from the other day about players around 5% and under, it does seem, based on those pictures and stats they have, that if you are at 5% ownership, you can still qualify for the scouting bonus. But I'm not entirely sure about that. Hopefully we get clarification, and obviously after Matchday 1 we will. But it would be ideal to know for sure before the deadline. But I'll be honest, any player who could go up above 5%, I'll probably get rid of them, because the main appeal would have been the scouting bonus. And if that's not the case now, I will look elsewhere. Welcome, Paredes. Welcome, everyone. Dylan, what under 4.8 million goalkeeper do you suggest rotating with Armani? Well, you've got Ustari at Inter Miami, but I'll be honest, I don't think they're a good defense. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of stats flying around in my head. I think they've kept 1 clean sheet out of the last 10 games. Yeah, and they've had a pretty poor season. Javier Mascherano, great player back in the day, but as a manager, maybe not the best. I would probably say Marchesín from Boca Juniors. Why not go maximum captain in the first match day? Well, this was covered in my how to play guide, but in World Cup, it used to be called the Power Captain. It's the exact same chip, just a slightly different rebrand. So I think the maximum captain, you can gain more points from that chip later in this tournament. In match day 6 or 7, when you don't know who to captain, it's going to be really tough to decide certain games. And also match day 7, you can't change the captaincy or make substitutions. So I think it's best used in such a game week. And I did it in the World Cup. I used the 12th man in match day 1 on Mbappe. He scored 2 goals, I think, against Australia, or he got 1 goal and 1 assist. So he got 9 points. And in match day 7, for the World Cup final, I used the power captain, or maximum captain, and Mbappe scored a hat-trick. Otherwise, Messi would have been my captain, so I gained a few points that way. I just think you can gain more later in the tournament, more often than not. It's not always going to happen. I can't guarantee success with this chip strategy, but I think the 12th man is best used in the group stages. You've got higher ceiling. And also with the maximum captain, you can actually still get it right with your picks. You've got 2 options, you know, for match day 1. You can go for Kane and Messi, or maybe Kane and Mbappe. So you've got plenty of chances to get it right, and the probability of success is higher in the group stages. So I think the 12th man is best used in the group stages and the maximum captain late in the competition. But yeah, I'll try to show some slides that I did from the other day. It was all covered in that video as well, of course. And yeah, great to see so many people here, over 300 people. And there's a lot of messages, so I'll try to get through them all. Anish with the super chat says Sanchez, Otamendi, Bensabani, Stanisic, Enzo, Elise, Kimmich, Brandt, De Arrascaeta, Pavlidis, Messi, Armani, Dumfries, Cambiasso, Haaland, Mbappe as the 12th man. Well, Cambiasso, I like that pick. He's showing good form. He scored for Italy against Moldova, and he got 2 assists out of the last 3 matches for Juventus. But unfortunately, his ownership, yeah, it's now over 5%. So you're not going to get scouting bonus from him. So you might want to reconsider that pick potentially. But I do like your squad. Bensabani, for example, should have under 5% ownership. The same goes for Otamendi. I would avoid him, though, against Bayern Munich if possible. But it's a really good team. I don't have many issues with it. Maybe Kimmich. I know you can get points for key passes and tackles, but I think you could find a better midfielder there, like Mastantuono, Ashur from Al Ahly, and there's also Rodrigo Mora. I think those options might be better than Joshua Kimmich, but that's my personal preference. The rest is really solid. I wouldn't necessarily change it, but maybe consider changing Cambiasso because he's not going to get those scouting bonus now. But yeah, once again, appreciate the super chats, and also to Lager for becoming a member once more. It's not locked in, mate. I am looking at Hakimi and Dumfries. Both of them could make it into my team. If not, I'll just pick one of them. But it is Atletico Madrid first. I think that's a tough game. And PSG are a very good team right now, arguably the best in the world. But they aren't the clear standouts above the rest. I think Atletico could give them a good game. From Matchday 2 onwards, yeah, I think 2 or 3 PSG looks like the play. Yeah, is he a sure bet? I don't think so, Bruno. I think Aït-Nouri isn't guaranteed to start. He was in my updated lineups video today. I think Gavardia will play centre-back with Ruben Dias or Akanji, and Aït-Nouri will be on the left. I'll show you my lineups very soon, just in case you haven't seen my video earlier. It is a very short turnaround, of course, but yeah, he's not a sure bet. I don't think so. Out of the new signings for Man City, I think he's the most likely to start, but sure bet, I don't think so. So please elaborate more on the 12th man. Why can't I select Mbappe? Well, if you've got Mbappe in your team already, you can't select them again. And in terms of the rules of 3 players per club in the group stages, that doesn't apply with the 12th man. The same goes for budget. So you should be able to pick him, assuming that you don't have Mbappe in your normal team. I'm just trying to think why you wouldn't be able to. That's the only reason. But I'll go through the rules again, since I'm sure some people still might not have seen certain videos I've made, or they're still unsure about a few things. I do understand that. Thank you, Paredes, for being a member for 2 months. You've got that level 20. Nice badge there. Madjassin and Armani play on the same day. Yes, but this was covered in my videos. That doesn't matter. It's not like UCL Fantasy where you need players featuring on different days. They can play on the same day, assuming they don't play at the same time. Because once... I need to double check who plays first. But once the first goalkeeper is played, you then have a certain amount of time to make a substitution. I'll go through the rules again, since I'm guessing some people aren't fully aware of how it goes. Hopefully not, Gary. Hopefully we get a new winner. But yeah, they are one of the favourites for sure. Yeah, easy. Dembele isn't flagged in the game, but Fabrice Hawkins from RMC Sport, he's very reliable. He said Dembele will miss the group stages. I'll try to get the tweet up so you can actually trust me. Maybe you don't trust me, that's the problem. So give me a second whilst I find the tweet. And I know there's a lot of questions. I'll go through them, I promise, but I want to go through graphics because they might answer some of your questions in turn. So hopefully that is the case. So let's go RMC Sport. Let's put Dembele. I think I should be able to find... Whoa. Let's see. Can I find this tweet? And yeah, Barcola was another one. This is annoying. I mean, I've got a random tweet up that says exactly what I just said, but you probably want the reliable one. Yeah, for some reason, the Twitter... Yeah. Twitter's not being great right now with the search engine. RMC Sport, Dembele injury. I think that's why I need to put injury. This is annoying. One more time, Dembele injury. Okay, here you go. I got a tweet by PSG Report who just relay information, so I'm going to go to that now, and I'll show some different screens as well. So it says here, Ousmane Dembele will be sidelined for around 2 to 3 weeks after suffering a left thigh injury versus Spain. He will likely miss the group stages of the FIFA Club World Cup. Barcola had a knock on his knee. He will be fit to play against Atletico Madrid. And as you can see, the source is Fabrice Hawkins from RMC Sport. Very reliable. I saw the tweet myself. So yeah, this is not something made up by PSG Report. All right, so what I want to do now, let's just get this message off screen since I've covered it now. So let's go through some things here. First off, there is my Club World Cup Fantasy League. So make sure to join. The code will be on the left-hand side for most of this video, but in the description, there's the code and also an auto-join link. So it's very easy to become a part of this mini league. And you might be wondering, how do I play this game? Well, download the FIFA app or use my link and Bob's your uncle. You can play the game. If you want even more stress during your summer, it's completely up to you. So this is my bracket predictions at the moment. So I've got Porto in top spot of Group A, Palmeiras second, Inter Miami in third, and Al Ahly in fourth. For Group B, PSG top, Atletico second, Botafogo third, and Seattle Sounders in last position. Then Bayern Munich, Benfica, Boca Juniors, and Auckland City. I'm slightly conflicted. Boca have a new manager in Miguel Angel Russo. That's his third stint at the club, by the way. We'll see how he gets on. That's going to be a close call for second place, in my opinion. For Group D, we've got Chelsea, Flamengo, Los Angeles, and I almost got confused with Lyon for some reason. ES Tunis, or they also called Esperance. For Group E, Inter Milan, River Plate, Monterrey, and Urawa Red Diamonds. Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Ulsan HD. Manchester City, Juventus, Al Ain, and Wydad Casablanca. And the final group is Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Salzburg, and Pachuca. That is the order of my predictions of where they'll finish in the group stages. And I've also got a little mini prediction in the knockouts, but I probably will change it. So I've got Porto facing Atletico. We can talk about this more so in the later rounds. I don't think it's too relevant right now. Of course, when the lineups are out, I'll be covering them, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But what I want to do now is cover some rules very quickly. I know for those of you who have seen my video, you might be thinking, oh, Dylan, oh, God, not again. And look, you're not seeing my ugly face. That's one positive. But I'm going to go through this very quickly. I might not read out everything because, yeah, that might be a bit tiring. But as always, you start off with a 100 million budget. You have to pick 15 players, so 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. All you need to worry about right now is that in the group stages, you can only pick 3 players per club. However, if you activate the 12th man in matchday 1, 2, or 3, you can still pick anyone you want as long as that player isn't in your team already. So you can have 4 players from the same club that way. Otherwise, it's just 3. This increases to 4 in the round of 16, then 5 in the quarterfinals, 6 for the semi-final, and then 8 for the Club World Cup final in matchday 7. So formations that you can use in this game are 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-5-1, 5-4-1, and 5-3-2. Now, people always ask, how do I change my formation? It's really simple. You just make substitutions. There's no like drop-down menu like we used to have in UCL Fantasy where you can change formation. Just make substitutions, and that's how you can do it. But when people also ask about what is the best formation, I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter because you can make manual subs, and what you want to do is have squad depth. So you can take out your lowest scoring players who play early in the match day and then bring on those that are yet to play to maximize your chances of getting points. That will be covered very soon in these slides. So I'll read this very quickly. Similar to UCL Fantasy, your budget will increase by 5 million in matchday 4 when the knockout stages begin. So yeah, that's also covered. This will occur after the matchday 3 deadline. You'll be able to utilize your extra budget in matchday 4. All player prices are fixed and will not change based on performances or transfer activity, and all these rules are taken by the website, of course. You can make subs between your starting 11 and bench players as long as you keep a valid formation, which was covered earlier. The captaincy can also be changed within a match day. Only your starting players will contribute towards your match day score. So if you sub someone out, they can't be subbed back in. So there are 2 key terms in the website, locked player and unlocked player. So it's very simple. If someone is locked, that means they are currently playing a match, and an unlocked player is an asset whose team is yet to play. So you can manually sub any player in your starting 11 who has completed their match with a player from the bench whose match has not yet started. It's also possible to swap an unlocked player in your lineup with an unlocked player on your bench at any time. This can be done repeatedly as long as both players remain unlocked. So this is also very similar, but it kind of makes it very clear with each specific scenario. So a locked player in your lineup whose match is currently in progress cannot be swapped with an unlocked player from the bench. They can only be subbed once the locked player's match is marked as complete. A player on the bench who has completed their match cannot be subbed for an unlocked player in the starting 11. A locked player in the lineup cannot be swapped with a locked player on the bench under any circumstance. A locked player in the lineup that has completed his match cannot be swapped with another player on the bench who has also completed his match. So hopefully that is crystal clear. So there is a fixed deadline for transfers. However, there is a rolling lockout system to manage team changes during a live match day. So you can have 2 goalkeepers playing on the same day. This is in answer to Paredes' question in the super chat. And you can sub the player who features first. They have to play at different times though. So a prime example would be Kobel and Armani, with both of them featuring on the 17th of June in the UK at least. So Borussia Dortmund play at 5 PM UK time, while River Plate kick off at 8 PM. The window to sub Armanion for Kobel will be extremely short, so roughly an hour basically, but it's possible to make that change. So hopefully that is all crystal. If you want to change your captain or vice captain during a match day, you can do so as many times as you would like. That's what it says on the website. However, you can only select a player whose team has not played yet. Any manual changes to your team during a match day, like a sub or changing your captain or vice, will cancel automatic substitutions. And the slides very soon will cover this, but with the captaincy, let's give one really easy example. Messi plays now, well soon, at 1 a.m. in the UK in a couple hours time. It's the first game of this tournament. You captain Messi, then you want to change it to Kane, and once both of those players have played and you've captained Messi and Kane, that is it. You can't change the captaincy anymore. But with automatic subs, it's like FPL, so they'll become active in your team and replace a player who didn't play in your starting 11, but only if you haven't made any manual changes to your squad. Your outfield bench players are prioritized 1 to 3, with the first priority sub being brought on before anyone else, and automatic subs will only happen at the end of the match day. This gives you the chance to make manual substitutions until the very end of a match day. So next up is manual subs like you would get in UCL Fantasy, the Euros and the World Cup. This is what I recommend to everybody watching. Have that squad depth, that 15-man squad, and it gives you more options to score points. So you can replace a player from your starting 11 with someone from your bench, as long as the bench player hasn't played yet. The player you're removing must not be playing at that particular time, so you can only make the change before or after the match. Once you make the sub, you'll only gain points from the new player. If the player you remove has already completed their match, you won't be able to put them back into your starting 11 again. With the captaincy, I literally just talked about this, but just so you have it on screen as well, this might help. Your selected captain will score double the amount of points. Very simple. If he doesn't play any minutes during the match day, your vice captain will score double points instead. However, this will only occur if you haven't made any changes to your team during a match day. So similar to World Cup Fantasy, once your captain is featured, you are able to switch the armband once more to another player who hasn't played yet. If you choose to change your captain, you will lose their double points and your new captain will score double points instead. So the chips, very simple, very brief. With the wildcard, you can make unlimited transfers like you could in any other fantasy football game. You can't use it in match days 1 or 4 because everyone gets unlimited transfers. But for match day 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, you can use the wildcard. With the 12th man, it enables you to choose one additional player to score points for your team in a specific match day. When selected, the 12th man cannot be subbed off, captained, or transferred. You can pick any player to be your 12th man as long as that player is not already a part of your squad. Budget or team restrictions do not count here, so that should also be very simple. But yeah, one question I'm getting asked as well is, can we wait until the lamps are out during a match day and then change our 12th man? But yeah, once the deadline passes, you cannot change your 12th man. That is locked in. The other two chips in the game include the Maximum Captain, which used to be called the Power Captaincy or the Power Captain in World Cup Fantasy. So once activated, it's very, very simple. You will earn double points from whichever player scores the most points from your starting 11. So you don't need to do absolutely anything there. This player will automatically be assigned the captaincy, and the mystery chip will be revealed after the matchday free deadline when the round of 16 opens. It can be used for one round during the knockout stages, and very soon I'll show you the slides for the chip strategy that I recommend, but I'll probably whiz through those slides and let you read it and pause if you wish to. So all chips except the wildcard can be reversed before the matchday deadline, and this can be achieved by clicking the deactivate button on your chosen booster. And the way you do that is on your app or the website, there is this orange icon, and you just click on it and you can select all of the boosters, basically the ones that can be used in a specific match day. So a chip can only be used once in the tournament, and multiple boosters cannot be used simultaneously. Both the 12th man and Maximum Captain chips were in the previous World Cup Fantasy Edition. The same goes for the wildcard. So with transfers, you can carry over one transfer in the group stages, but that's about it. You can't do this from matchday 4 onwards, and you can exceed your transfer allocation for any match day, but instead of taking a -4 hit like you would in other fantasy games, it's only -3, and I think this was the case in the World Cup as well. The points will be deducted once the deadline is passed and your players start scoring points. Once a transfer is confirmed, it is irreversible. If you buy or sell players during a match day, they will not affect your current team. These changes will take place after the next deadline. So these are the way transfers work in each match day. So we have unlimited right now for the next hour or so. For match day 2, we get 2 transfers. And if you roll in match day 2, you will then have 3 transfers in match day 3. Otherwise, it's going to be 2 again. Then for the round of 16 in match day 4, it's going to be unlimited transfers. For the quarterfinals is 4, semi-finals 5. And for the Club World Cup final, we get up to 6 transfers, which makes it very easy. Now, the scoring system, I probably won't read all of this out. Feel free to pause. I have covered this in my How to Play guide, but I made a lot of different tables to kind of break it down into different sections. And just to avoid any confusion, all players will get 3+ points for getting an assist, but you won't get additional points if your player who gets an assist is a goalkeeper or defender. It's all going to be +3. So hopefully that's also easy to follow. And I just want to pause it on this one because for those that aren't aware, you can gain 2 additional points for scouting bonus. So if any of your players score more than 4 points in a match and is in fewer than 5% of all team selections, you will get 2 additional points. So I think defenders and goalkeepers are the best way of going for differentials because all they need to do is keep a clean sheet. And let's say you go for, I think Trubin would be a good example in goal. He has less than 5% ownership. If Benfica keep a clean sheet in match day 1, he'll get 2 points for the appearances, plus 60 minutes. He'll get 5 points for the clean sheet, so that's 7. And that means he will get 2 additional points for having low ownership. That means 9 points just for a clean sheet. So that's why going for differentials in that defensive line could be very useful. And that's something I've discussed in a lot of my drafts throughout the last couple of weeks. But that pretty much rounds it off with deadlines. Of course, we've got one now in the next hour or so. So I know I'll go back to your questions very soon. I just wanted to clear up the air for certain topics and answer some questions in the process. But all the deadlines can be found here on screen. And if you have any more questions, check out my How to Play guide because I also break it down in even more detail there as well. So very quickly, I want to show you my favorite chip strategy for Club World Cup Fantasy. So of course, this is basically the slides that we showed you earlier. So I'm going to skip these, of course. So what I want to do actually is skip all the way. Yeah, wildcard I've already explained anyway. I'm not going to go into that too much. You get 1 wildcard, you get unlimited transfers, no unlimited budget like you would in UCL Fantasy with the Limitless, and the team won't reset once the match day is over. So this is kind of like a pros and cons kind of sort of table. 2 different sides of the argument, using the wildcard early or saving it for the knockout stages. So feel free to pause, otherwise I'll be here all bloody day. So in my opinion, the wildcard is best used in match day 2 or 3. So saving this chip for the knockout stages is a viable strategy. And while match day 5 to 7 is a decent time to use this chip, I would recommend using it in the group stages. This allows you to navigate fixture swings within this group phase. And with only 7 match days in this competition, getting off to a strong start will be critical. The unlimited transfers in match days 1 and 4 provides a great opportunity to optimize your squad for match days 2 and 3 with the wildcard chip. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the live chat. With the 12th man, you can use this at any point in the Club World Cup. The weakest teams can be targeted more effectively throughout the group stages. And whilst it's plausible to use the 12th man in the knockouts, I still think that the ceiling, on paper at least, of your players will be lower. My recommendation is to use this 12th man chip between match days 1 to 3. Now, you can't use 2 chips at the same time, as covered earlier. And I mentioned this example in the previous World Cup. I activated the chip on Mbappe match day 1, and he delivered 9 points. With the Maximum Captain, you can also deploy this at any stage of the competition. The ceiling will be high during the group stages. However, it's also easier to get a captaincy haul without the Maximum Captain in match days 1 to 3. This will only become more difficult as the tournament progresses, with some difficult games to call. Match day 6 or 7 looks ideal for this booster, just like it was in World Cup Fantasy. And for the mystery chip, we don't know what it is yet, so I'll be honest, I can't tell you, oh yeah, use it in match day 4. Yeah, cheers. I can't do that. But I'm just going to read this very quickly. So the booster will be revealed after the match day 3 deadline. It can be used for 1 round during the knockout, so either match day 4, 5, 6, or 7. I would consider using it in match day 4 or 5. And depending on what it is, this could change to match day 6 or 7 to be fair, but the Maximum Captain could gain the most points over your original captain during the semi-finals or final, and to avoid that sort of clash, yeah, let's say for example, you use the Maximum Captain in match day 7, then use the mystery chip in either match day 4, 5 or 6 basically. Once we know what it is, I could make an updated chip strategy guide and go through that once more. So just to kind of summarize all of them into one page, I would recommend using the 12th man in either Matchday 1 or 2, the wildcard in Matchday 2 or 3, the mystery chip in Matchday 4 or 5, and the maximum captain in Matchday 6 or 7. If I had to make, like, pinpoint one specific Matchday, I would say 12th man Matchday 1, wildcard Matchday 2, mystery chip Matchday 4, I guess, and the maximum captain in Matchday 7. So hopefully that is all crystal clear. I'll answer a few questions since I know it's been a while since I've actually engaged with you, and normally that's what I do, but I wanted to answer a lot of different topics and questions that way. What am I doing? I'm a bot. Yeah, let's go back to my team, and I need to think about it, otherwise I'm gonna maybe regret a few decisions. So let's go through the comments here. Thoughts about Trent, or against Trent? Well, he featured in one of my drafts. I just think Real Madrid are a bit suspect defensively, to be quite honest with you, but he is a good pick. I think from Madrid defenders, he's my favourite because of the ceiling. He can take set pieces. I think Al Hilal will score, though, in Matchday 1. Anish says, your thoughts? Kimmich to Gnabry, Cambiasso to Reece James. Yeah, Reece James, I think, is a bit of a rotation risk anyway. His minutes have been managed extensively this season, and he is injury prone. We all know this. So I'm a bit unsure about that pick, but I get the logic. Great fixtures. I think he's got decent attacking potential, and Cambiasso doesn't have that 5% ownership or under. Yeah, Gnabry has a higher ceiling than Kimmich. I think that's a good pick, but I'll be honest with Bayern Munich, it's very difficult to really envisage or say for sure which player will start. So yeah, I'd say Gnabry is an upgrade on Kimmich, but also less likely to start. So it's a double-edged sword there. And I would go for a different defender instead. Hey Dylan, what about Varela and Rossi from Flamengo? Yeah, Rossi used to play for Boca Juniors. Yeah, Flamengo are in good form. They're top of the Brazilian league. That could be a decent shout, but at 5.3 million, I think you can find better value in Sommer, who's only 0.1 million more expensive, Kobel, even Armani, who's only 4 million. So yeah, Charlotte Frost, hopefully you got the chip strategy guide that I just went through. I literally just covered it now. I know you said this before, but hopefully you are still here. Hi Dylan, should I go for Pavlidis and Rodri or Vlahovic and Cherki? It's a good question. As a duo, I would prefer Vlahovic and Cherki. Having said that, well, I don't think Vlahovic starts, to be honest. I think Rodri will, even though that's up in the air. Yeah, well, based on that, I'll probably say the safer pick and probably the best one is Pavlidis and Rodri, but just a bit unsure about Rodri, to be quite honest with you. What's the league code? Can't find the link. Let's see. Maybe I put the wrong one. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I copied... Yeah, there's a lot of links in my description, to be fair, but... oh, yeah, I might have... What an idiot I am. I think I might have deleted it, or I didn't put it right. Give me a second. I'll put the link now in the description, and I'll send it in the chat. Thank you for letting me know. That is a great point. So here we go. Okay, that should be it. Let me just update my description. So thank you very much, Charlotte Frost. And okay, and I'll send the code now. Well, I'll send both. I'll send the code and the link. You've got two options. I might even pin it in the live chat for a little bit. So thank you very much. Let me send that and pin. Okay, so we've got 500 people watching almost. Let's get the likes up to 200 plus. It would be greatly appreciated as I answer all your questions and summarize all of my content, basically 10 videos worth. So that's countless hours of recording and actual, you know, what you see on YouTube. But yeah, I'll try my best. Gittins or Adeyemi? Yeah, but Gittins is heavily linked with Chelsea. The move might even happen. Well, to be fair, the transfer window technically closes for a bit. But I'm a bit unsure about Gittins. I don't think he starts, by the way. I'd go for Adeyemi instead. Transfer out Dembele to Adeyemi. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, so Salima, the subs are similar to World Cup Fantasy. So yeah, UCL Fantasy, yeah, it's similar, but there are some key changes, I should say, because, for example, if you have two goalkeepers playing on the same day in UCL Fantasy, basically you can't make subs. But in the Club World Cup, assuming they don't play at the exact same time, you can sub out the player or the goalkeeper who plays earlier and then bring on your other option. And it's not just goalkeepers, right? It can be any player in your squad. The best 4 assets, well, that's difficult to say. I think Harry Kane, if he starts, would be right up there. I think Mbappe's form is too good to ignore. For match days 1 and 2, I'd also put Erling Haaland in that sort of list, and Elise would be up there, but does he start? That's the big question. The best 4, Benfica assets. Okay, I would say Di Maria, Aktoglu, so the 2 wingers, Pavlidis, and I would probably say Antonio Silva. Differential, quite cheap. He could be the best one. Number 1, though, is Pavlidis, I have to say. Best Benfica defender. Tough to say because Otamendi's decent. He's got a bit more attacking potential than Antonio Silva. But it's all about that ownership. As long as they have less than 5%, I think any of them are fine. Trubin in goal is also decent, but I mentioned Antonio Silva because he's cheaper and more accessible. Should use your 12th man or keep it later. So that's just been covered, mate, a few times. I think the 12th man is best used now or in the group stages. Yeah, exactly that, Gary. So if you sign up with DAZN, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm just saying if you want to know how to watch the Club World Cup, you register with DAZN, DAZN, by the way, just in case you don't know. And yeah, you can watch every single game for free. And if you're in the UK, they are showing the first game on Channel 5. And I think 25 games are being shown overall. I'm not sure, J-Dub. It's a good question, but I don't think it's really worth speculating too much because it could be anything. I don't think it'll be the assistant manager, but who knows at this point. I think the best Chelsea mid apart from Palmer is Enzo Fernandez there, FPL Rohits. Yeah, Kokchu's good, to be fair. Yeah, scouting bonus. What's Aktoglu's ownership now? 4.8%? Unless, let me actually refresh this page because I think, yeah, the ownership is now 5%. A lot has changed in the last couple of hours when I had this set up. So, yeah, I need to start locking in my team fairly soon, otherwise panic stations? Yeah, I don't want that. I'd probably say Glock there, Fries, over Vitinha. Just think the ceiling is higher. But what you do get from Vitinha is the penalties. Can we expect Rico Lewis to start? I'm not sure. Even in my original predicted lineups video, I mentioned the fact that it could be Matheus Nunes starting at right back. I've currently got the Portuguese starting there and not Rico Lewis. It's probably a good segue into my predicted lineups. Hopefully you do enjoy this. If you want a kind of detailed breakdown, let me just go back to here. Let's go back to Palmeiras. Yeah, go to my predicted lineups video, the original one. I talk about all the team's form, stats. A lot of information is in that 40-minute video. And in today's podcast, it was kind of building upon those discussions, tweaking a few things, also counting several injury updates over the last couple of days, and also transfers for clubs like Man City. But for Palmeiras, I've also kind of highlighted out-of-position players in the podcast earlier. So Estevao is a forward, but technically playing as a right winger. So with forwards in Club World Cup Fantasy, you want them playing as the striker. So that's why I've classified Estevao as an out-of-position asset, so to speak. With Porto, one key change from the videos I've made is that Diogo Costa will miss matchday 1, so don't go for him as your goalkeeper. Instead, it will be Ramos as a 4.5 million option starting between the sticks for Porto. Now, the rest, I'm fairly confident in it, but there could be 1 or 2 tweaks. For example, we could see, I think, Pepe as the right forward or right winger instead of Fabio Vieira, and it could even be a different formation like a 4-3-3, so this could mean Mario drops out and we see Vieira playing in the midfield. But in terms of what I know for sure, and thank you to those that did correct me and also provided me the update, it will be Costa. He's going to be out of match day 1, and it will be, Jesus, my brain is fried. It will be Ramos starting as a 4.5 million goalkeeper there for Porto. So next up will be Inter Miami, and Jordi Alba will likely not play in match day 1. So it looks like it will be Allen instead. He's only 4.2 million, but the best asset by far is Lionel Messi, and you've got a 4 million goalkeeper in Ustari. Now, Al Ahly have several good players. Now, there's one who hasn't been added to the game yet. Maybe it has been, or he has been in the last couple of hours, but yeah, I think the best options here are Ali up front. You're also looking at Ashore in the midfield, and you could say Hani as the right back. He's got a bit of attacking potential, but Ali for me up front is the very best. You've also got some out-of-position players technically on the wings. But let's now move on to Group B. I know Man City will be the main focus, but with PSG, the main concern for me or doubt would be Gonzalo Ramos or I think Barcola, who should be available in match day 1. Ousmane Dembele will miss the group stages, so don't go for Ousmane Dembele, who has very high ownership. And I think the rest is what you'd expect from Paris Saint-Germain. Next up will be Atletico Madrid. And I made several changes from the original predicted lineups video. So I've put Lenormand and Jimenez together, but even that could be slightly inaccurate. I've also got Llorente at right back. I know Molina also plays several games there. And I've got Barrios and Sorloth starting instead of Koke and Griezmann. But I think there could be several doubts there for Atletico that weren't covered in my videos. I think Lino was mentioned as one of them, but I think he will start personally. Now, for Botafogo, I think the best asset is Igor Jesus at 4.1 million up front. They've also got 2 forwards in the game who play technically a bit deeper. So that will be Savarino, the Venezuelan, and also Artur. They face Seattle Saunders in match day 1, so I think Jesus could be worth a punt, and maybe Cuyabano if he starts, and if he does, that will be in the left wing spot. And at 4 million, you can't really complain, but he is currently an injured out. For Seattle Saunders, the best asset would be Rusnak. He's on penalties and also a midfielder playing as the attacking mid there. And they've also got Rothrock and De La Vega, who are forwards. I wouldn't recommend them. My favourite would be Rusnak. So, Group C, Bayern Munich. This is very difficult to predict because some reports indicate they could go for their B team. And if that's the case, we could see Sacha Boey at right back, Goretzka in the midfield. But there could also be even more changes like Harry Kane on the bench and given a little bit of a rest there. But yeah, Jonathan Tah was added to the game very recently. He's 5.5 million. Stanisic, I think his ownership might have gone up above 5%. So that could be yet another change to my team selection. So it's a good idea in principle, the scouting bonus. But because people can gravitate towards certain players, especially, you know, very late on, it can basically ruin some of your picks and you need to go for somebody else. It does encourage a bit of forward thinking and being different from others, but it does have its drawbacks as well. And one thing I was asked about Bayern Munich as well is, what about Gnabry? Why would he not start? He could. He really could. But I think if Bayern Munich are playing a stronger team, I think it'll be Elise, Müller, Koeman and Harry Kane as their front four at the moment until Musiala is fully fit and available. And I think Upamecano and Musiala will be rested and eased into things. They won't risk him or risk them against Auckland City. So Boca Juniors are one of the teams that are difficult to also envisage because they have a new manager in Miguel Angel Russo who played a 4-2-3-1 during his time at Rosario Central. So instead of this 4-4-2 diamond or 3-4-1-2, they might be a little bit different actually, and there could be a few modifications. Advincula is available, so he could start at right back over Blondel. That's one possible change to the starting lineup, but the rest I'm fairly confident in. And there are no risks of Sergio Romero being the goalkeeper because he's injured. I also think he had a falling out with the fans and also with several players and stuff like that. So Marchesín is the first choice and he's only 4.1 million. I definitely recommend him and maybe 1 or 2 punts from Boca Juniors in match day 3 against Auckland City. But they've got 2 out-of-position players in Bataglia, who's a midfielder. He could play as a centre-back, but to be fair, with this new manager, he might play a little bit more advanced. And also Palacios, he's a forward, but he's playing as an attacking midfielder, so I wouldn't recommend him at the moment. For Benfica, Di Maria will feature in this tournament, then he will join my team, Rosario Central, but for now he will feature in this tournament. And one key change is Govia, or Govia. Yeah, my Portuguese needs to improve a little bit, but he would start right back over Thomas Araujo. Apparently he will miss the group stages, and my favourite asset is Pavlidis, but you've got stiff competition in that forward line. And I was asked about the best defender. I mean, Carreras could be quite decent as well. He started 30 games in the Portuguese league, so I don't think Dao will start more often than not. But I think any of those defenders are absolutely fine. Antonio Silva is the cheapest, so maybe he's the best one, but it's all about whoever has less than 5% ownership. That's the most important thing. So now we're on to Auckland City, the last team of Group C. And after this is done, I'll basically show you my team selection graphics very briefly, not really talk over it, and just focus on your questions and locking in my team because we've only got 53 minutes until the deadline. So I do recognize that. We have 3 out-of-position players here in Zeb, Yu, and Lagos. I wouldn't recommend any of them. My favorite option is probably Devan, and I would avoid all Auckland City assets in matchday 1, even if Bayern Munich rotate heavily. So Flamengo have Jorginho. He's a new signing from Arsenal. He costs 5.5 million, but my favorite option is De Arrascaeta, who's playing as the attacking midfielder. He scored for Uruguay in their recent match, and he's also got 9 goals in the Brazilian league in 9 matches, I believe. So he's a very decent option, actually, at 6.2 million, and he might make his way into my final squad. So Chelsea are up next. I think Delap or Jackson is quite difficult to predict, but I've gone for Delap at the moment, and the rest is basically the same as what you saw in my original predicted lineups podcast. For Los Angeles FC, the best asset would be their left winger, Boanga. He is a forward, but he is on penalties. He's in great form. I think 8 goals over the last 10 games. And I know Hugo Lloris would be the kind of most popular one. You know him from his time at Tottenham and France, but I think Boanga is the very best. And Olivier Giroud is on their bench. ES Tunis, I think the best option here would be Sass, who is a forward, but he only costs 4.4 million. So if you need that enabler and you don't want to go for Aguilar, consider Sass as a mega differential with less than 1% ownership, I believe. So River Plate have a solid team here. I think Mastantuono and Armani are the best options. Nothing else really to talk about there. I wouldn't recommend their defenders because they all cost 5.1 million. Why not just save the money, go for Armani, and invest in other options in that position? I think that's my personal take on it. Let's now go back to Inter Milan. And there could be 1 or 2 changes. It is a new manager here in Christian Chivu. I think he'll start things off with the same formation as Inzaghi, but over time he will switch to a different formation, maybe even a back 4. But I think Denzel Dumfries is the best option that Inter Milan have to offer. So with Monterrey, you will definitely recognize Sergio Ramos, but I think the best option is Bertarame as their left winger. He only costs 6 million as well, but he is a forward, which is a bit unfortunate. And moving on to the last team in this group, Urawa Red Diamonds, if you had to pick one option, it's probably Ishihara, their right back, who has decent attacking potential for a 4 million defender, but that's basically the extent of his appeal. For Borussia Dortmund, Joe Bellingham has been signed for them, but I think it will be Gross and Nemecha as their central midfielders for now. And the front three should be Brandt, Adeyemi, and Garassi, and they've got several decent options in their defensive line. Kobel is also one of the best goalkeepers on paper. With Fluminense, I think Serna, a 4.7 million forward, he's in decent form, but Arias, despite the lack of goal threat at times, he does get a lot of assists. He is one of my favourite options from Fluminense, and you've got 2 fullbacks at 4 million in arguably the second best team in this group. And from Mamelodi Sundowns, the one you want to go for is Reyners at 5.5 million, so he's even cheaper than what I thought. And the other options, there could be some hidden gems in there, but Reyners is the one in form. Also in HD have 2 out-of-position players, so Ludwigsson is one you don't want to go for because he has played a lot of games at left-back and he's classified as a midfielder, so 5.5 million is not really worth it for me. But there is a 4 million defender in Jay Stjuk, who has started a lot of games recently as a left winger and also a right winger. Okay. Yeah? The hell? What the hell's happening right now? Oh, lee los mensajes. Okay, wow, Jesus. Yeah, okay, Jesus. Wait, what? What do you mean the deadline's done? What the hell are you talking about? Sorry, wait, what? Wait, what? Has there been... Wait, I have no... Wait, what? It says 12 AM. Wait, okay, I'm actually baffed. What? Okay, look, I was trying to provide, you know, actual information and stuff. What? Oh, no. Because I remember there was a lot of, like, controversy about the World Cup as well. In terms of the rules and stuff, it seems like things have been changed. What? Hey, I'm trying to, like, give, you know, information. Oh, there's different players, you know, recap the information, then go back to your questions. No, I'm not going to crash out. It's just funny, but that's just really weird. Like, come on, you say the deadline's at 12 AM. Oh, enjoy it, you know, you got some, yeah. Wow, they've messed up, Dylan, it's locked. This guy gives me Mark S from Severance vibes. What the hell are you on about, mate? And by the way, the reason why I actually noticed your messages finally is because I got a call saying, look, read the messages, mate. Yeah, okay, I get it. It happened 11 minutes now, but... What? Come on, it said all day, and also in the last couple of days, that the deadline is at 12 a.m. UK time, which makes sense. It's 1 hour before the deadline. It shows what we know. Bloody hell. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I know you've been telling us for 10 minutes, but it doesn't really change anything for me. Like, yeah, like I was thinking of making some late changes, but there you go. He was waiting for his reaction. I'm not a bot, mate. I'm trying to, like, read messages, like, or, I was trying to give information, then read the questions. Yeah, well, it's obviously not pre-recorded. Oh my god, that's what people are saying. So yeah, deadline is locked. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for putting it out. Unfortunately, yeah. That's going to put a lot of people off, though, from the game, if they just change a deadline retrospectively. Or am I missing something? Has there been, like, a sudden time change or something like that? Thank you very much. What the hell, Perret? Thank you very much, Perret is gifting 50 memberships. That is insane. Big up to you and to the 50 members. Can I even read them out? People probably don't want me to read them out at this point, but we're locked in. We're bloody locked in. It's a decent team anyway, but I would have probably changed a few things. That is kind of mad. What have they done? Take the headphones off. FIFA scam. Yeah, but it's kind of weird. Like, if you say a deadline's at 12 a.m., make sure it's at 12 a.m., they're probably going to say, oh, no, but this was for Europe. Yeah, but you're not going to give me the European time when I'm in the UK, mate, because there's a 1 hour difference. That's really strange. Let me check with the app. Come on, let's find a loophole. Let's find a way of making transfer. It's not going to happen, but that's... What? I'm telling you, that's going to put a lot of people off. Like, the interest will... That's really weird. I mean, I don't think my team's terrible anyway, but I was probably looking at a few changes, which I didn't decide yet, by the way, because I was in the middle of giving information. So it doesn't really matter now if I go back to Jay Seok and, a Formula defender who plays for Ulsan HD. Probably not. Probably, yeah, it is locked. Yeah, okay. I mean, I would say I'd write a letter to FIFA. I mean, is it even worth it at this point? Let me actually check what it says for the deadline now. That is really strange. That is really, really weird. That's the first time I've said this. I'm from Italy and it said 12 as well. It should be 11 PM UK for you guys. Wow. So it's 2 hours before the first game. Why not just make it kickoff like in UCL Fantasy or the other games? That's really strange. But thank you for letting me know. This game is glitched. I don't think it's a glitch. I think that's the deadline. But yeah, they put the wrong time for the people in the UK. Yeah, I'm aware that people said some really weird things. That is so effed for us nerds. Well, it could be a blessing in disguise because sometimes what I see, and by the way, I should probably get rid of this timer, right? Because it gives people a false sense of security. Yeah, sometimes if you make changes and tinker a lot, basically you end up losing points somehow. Yeah, I'm put off. That's what I mean, though. Like, it's just really strange. And if the deadline's 1 hour before, then fair enough. But 2 hours, really? That's even worse than FPL, which is like 1 hour, 30 minutes before deadline. Well, at least you got something, you know, weird, something strange and fun. I can even go through the rest of my bloody lineups. Maybe I'll do it just for the sake of it. Let's go back to it and, yeah, whatever, be an AI, as people say. Thank you very much, you bloody twats. So, yeah, Ulsan HD. Yeah, who cares? But those are the two players. Yada, yada, yada. Man City. This is my updated version. I did make a video earlier. So, yeah, Cherki, Marmush, Doku, and Haaland. I'll be honest, when I was getting, like, a call, I thought my stream crashed or something. But instead, it was, yeah, the game crashed, basically. It absolutely bugged out. But I've got Nuri, Reinders, and Cherki all starting as new signings, and Rodri back from injury, also in that holding midfield role. For Juventus, I've got Cambiasso in my final team now. I probably was going to change him, but there you go. And I think Gatti will start alongside Kalulu and Kelly as the free centre-backs. So yeah, Al Ain, who even cares at this point, 3-5-2. So got a few out-of-position players. I think the best option is probably Laba up front, but I wouldn't go for him in matchday 1 or 2. And for Wydad Casablanca, they now have all of these players added to the game, thankfully, and finally. The best option is probably Obeng up front or Malulu as the attacking midfielder, but he is classified as a forward. in this game. And for Real Madrid, basically the same as before. There could be 1 or 2 changes, and there are reports indicating that Madrid could play a 4-4-2 under Xabi Alonso to kick things off. Then for Al Hilal, Malcolm is still an injury doubt. I think Mitrovic and Salim Al-Dawsari as the left winger are the best options. And for Red Bull Salzburg, Nene Dorgeles, the right attacking midfielder in this 4-2-2-2 formation, he is the best choice. He is in incredible form right now on penalties, but he is a forward in this game at 6.3 million. And last but not least is Pachuca. My favourite option is Rondon, and Idrissi is the only out-of-position player here, but I really wouldn't recommend anybody else, only Rondon as a massive differential. But unfortunately, the deadline has unfortunately bloody passed. What is happening with this dumb game? So for those that aren't aware, this is my full presentation, which I did in the team selection yesterday. So yeah, you can see some of the changes I made from previous drafts on screen, and this is locked apparently. So you will see my final squad. Very underwhelming. I thought I would have had 40-50 minutes to answer your questions and lock in my squad, but unfortunately we have 0. Zilch. Nada. Wow. Wow, wow. FIFA, you have outdone yourselves. You really have outdone yourselves. This is worse than the World Cup. At least you didn't lie about deadlines there. But maybe those in Europe now have an advantage. And across the world. So those in the UK have been shafted for once with a deadline. Maybe that's a little play there, because we do have the advantage in FPL and stuff like that. But there you go. That's my team. Armani in goal. Stanisic, who doesn't have 5% ownership anymore, so that's great. I also have Francisco Maura, Svensson, who also doesn't have 5% ownership. Cambias on my bench, no longer scouting bonus, so that's great. Elise, Ashur, Mastantuono, Due, and Aktakoglu. Decent midfield, but probably would have tweaked it a little bit. Kane is my captain to kick things off, and Garassi. Mbappe's my 12th man. That is locked. Armani, Sommer's on the bench. He will come in for Armani if needed, because, like I said, subs are a bit different here than in UCL Fantasy. Or are they? Are they actually? Are they lying about everything in the rules? We'll find out very soon, I guess. But yeah, Haaland, Gavardio complete the rest of my 15-man squad. And if needed, after Kane, I'll captain Erling Haaland, if I'm actually able to do that. We'll see. So let's go back to my team, and let's react to the amazing deadline. It's so amazing. It's actually so amazing that the deadline has passed. My friend says it's a different time zone and the team is not locked. What? Keep on going, AI. You man are taking the piss. I can't lie. You're actually taking the piss. Okay, I get it. You know, sometimes I read out stats. You know, it can seem robotic. I get it, but that's just because, you know, I'm trying to give something to the people. That's just bullshit. I'm just a robot. I'm just a bloody robot. Mark S. from Severance, someone said. I'm so finished, man. It's kind of funny, but it's also sad at the same time, isn't it? Especially if you care about your rank and stuff. So why did it finish early? I think they wanted an early night, you know? They aren't watching the Club World Cup themselves, the admins at, you know, FIFA Club World Cup Fantasy, so they just want to chill. Maybe have a cigar, maybe drink, or do whatever. Who got the membership? I'm not sure, but Matthew Crow is one of them. And yeah, it's not a bug that you got a membership, but it is a bug that the game... It seems like it is probably a bug. Surely if enough people say something, they will, you know, unlock the deadline. Surely now, if it is a mistake, they should, you know, change the deadline to kickoff and sort it out thick and fast. That would be nice. Harvey, I'm not a big fan of Kimmich, as mentioned earlier, but yeah, I mean, if you have him, you can't change him, apparently. I'm in Central America, and it said 5 p.m., but it's locked at 4 p.m. Oh, okay, so it's a worldwide thing. I was trying to be, you know, I was trying to play the racism card, but it didn't work. That's one of the funniest streams. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, and it was also, you know, late at night. I was already kind of like speaking gibberish at the beginning, you could say. Different sort of vibe. It's kind of weird, actually. In the video where I'm showing the most personality, people are calling me a robot. You can't win with the people. You really can't. People just chat crap all the time. Are we in a simulation? Probably. Watch The Matrix. Great film. Nice job, FIFA. Yeah. The World Cup was also full of loopholes and stuff like that, and people kind of lost interest. So it's not the first time. Yeah, Matchday 2 already. So yeah, go on. Let's do the deadline stream now for Matchday 2, like 5 days in advance. So that way we can't be bloody robbed. Great idea, Rohits. Thank you very much. Wanted to play a chip and change captain. Yeah, I was slightly considering cancelling my 12th man, but I'm quite happy with that. but there are probably 4 or 5 picks at least in my team that I would have changed. Streets will not forget, yeah. Yes, Aswi, the one to thank is Paredes. He's a legend of the channel. He's been gifting so many memberships recently, so keep your pocket change and all that stuff, mate, because that is a lot. I'm pretty sure even 10 memberships is already a lot of money on YouTube. But thank you very much for your contributions. And guess what I'm going to do now for those that are loyal? You know, the deadline has passed and you're still here. Should I get rid of the timer? I probably should. I'll keep it just in case, you know, FIFA actually get their act together, but yeah. What I'm going to do is gift 5 memberships now and then 5 later for those that are still here. But we've actually got 500 people still. Has that been impacted by the deadline, or has it actually gone up? It seems like it's fairly stable, according to my analytical robot brain. But let's gift 5 memberships now. Come on. Okay, I need to open a new tab. Bloody hell. All right, let's go. By the way, I haven't drank anything. I had coffee. Does that count? Yeah. It doesn't impact my behavior. Because I'm a robot. All right, 5 memberships now, 5 later. That's the deal. So, let's read out the 5 members, the new ones, and then the 50 from before. Bloody hell, Paredes, you've outdone yourself. You are so robotically funny, says Gonzalo. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ, what is happening today? So, big up to Casual Yugi Stuff, a great channel about Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta love Yu-Gi-Oh! To Diogo, a Portuguese. Big up to the Portuguese. Christian Delgadillo. To, my eyesight is terrible, Seven Murphy and Benjamin. Big up to you. Enjoy the membership. That means early access to my videos for an entire month. You also get priority reply to comments. You can call me a bot and get away with it and yada, yada, yada. Let's also read out the other 50. You are severed for sure. Well, that's... Oh, come on, man. Let's not be too rude. I'm severed. That's... Wow. Jeez. I wish I didn't watch Severance. Otherwise, I would have just been like, huh? What are you talking about? Ignorance is bliss sometimes. Wow, I actually can't see all the members because there's so many. Let's go to the... Oh, I can't do that either. Well, thank you, Seven Murphy, but the one to... Well, actually, it was me. I clicked the button, but yeah. For the others, the one to thank is Paredes. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Bot. Now, you know what? I'm removing the membership from you. Piss off. Get out of here. Christian says, thank you. Well, at least now I can sleep sooner. That's the good thing about it. And believe it or not, I'm actually tired, but it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, no worries, Casual. YouTube, you know, a good thing about them recently is that you can gift memberships 10 per month. So I am going to gift 5 more. Yeah, Roman TV, we thought the deadline was at midnight, 12 a.m. in the UK, so that would be 35 minutes. But FIFA were like, nah, mate. Fuck off. So apparently it's gone. Yeah. Let me refresh just in case things are actually work. No, it's still locked. What are they doing? God. It's actually unbelievable what they've done. It's crazy. It's funny. It's crazy. It's sad. I don't know what to even say at this point. I'm kind of out of words. But like this video if you enjoyed it, if you found insight. Yeah, hopefully you have... locked in your team, you know, before my deadline stream even began. That would have been ideal. And with all my videos, I think you'd have had a great insight and knowledge about Matchday 1, the best teams to load up on. FPL 4 says, I kept refreshing and it's bloody locked now. I still had changes to make. Yeah, I know, there's no differentials. That's my main concern with this as well. So this was the screen. Yeah, look, my camera's disappeared here. What the hell has happened? Let me see. Let me quickly do this and see if I can get this. What the hell? Why is my camera here? Bro, what the hell is going on? Hey, everything is just tits up. The technology, FIFA. Is it all linked? Let's find out after the break. Oh, there's no break for me, unfortunately. All right, let's copy this and see. Why the hell did... the fuck? Hey, this is really weird, honestly. I'm telling you. This is the most chaotic thing I've ever seen in my bloody life. Let's move this. You're going to see some live changes. It's basically undoing all the graphics I've done over the last couple of weeks. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll stick with this section. Let's see if I can get away with some transfers. So I'm going to switch Cambiasso. Oh my god. Dumfries, Gavardio. Yeah, let's get him out for Hakimi, I guess. Who cares at this point? Stanisic out. Who's a differential? Jonathan Tah, but he's too expensive. Yeah, 1.7%. Let's see if I can go for him. Svensson out. By the way, I'm just trying and seeing if I can find a way to get transfers through because this wasn't refreshed. It probably won't work, to be honest, but it's worth giving a try. Let's see. So Garassi, Kane, Haaland, I'm quite happy with. Mbappe, 12th man as well. I might get rid of Kerem, Artikoglu, and Doué. I'm also looking at Ashore out. They're good options, don't get me wrong, but I am looking at something a little bit different. So Julian Brandt, he's got over 5% ownership. Who else could we go for here? I don't know why I'm even giving it thought, because I'm just basically being a fool. Just a fool's hope. That's Gandalf, by the way. I just didn't do the voice properly. Bloody hell. Di Maria? Di Maria, why not? You know, he's my guy. Jesus Christ. Who do we go for? Foden. Yeah, I'm not going there, big man. Cherky. Yeah, not sure about that either. Let's see. Arda Güler could be a decent shout if he starts, but I don't have him in my current predicted lineup. Bloody hell. Let's go for De Arrascaeta. Let's go for him. He's not a differential by any means, but still decent. Let's go for Di Maria, and we'll go for a budget option. So either Rodrigo Mora or I'll stick with Ashur. And 5.3 million. That's decent. Okay, so who can we go for? At 5.3, I could go for a Benfica player, but not ideal for the Bayern Munich fixture. Could go for... let's get rid of this. Yeah, I need to go for a defender. Maybe Levi Colwill, cover Chelsea defensively. That's literally just about enough money. Okay, so should I try it? Say yes or no in the live chat. Should I try making some transfers and seeing if I can salvage my amazing team? So yeah, I'm glad some of you are enjoying this stream. It didn't work, unfortunately. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Probably just a waste of time. Dylan, what's going on with other streamers? Anyone having a meltdown? I'll be honest, I'm not watching any other streams. I'm just here. What you see is what you get. Yeah, I haven't really watched anything else. Elise captain it is. Not a bad one to have, to be fair. The only concern is the rotation. No Bayern team news really, champ boy. There was one report from a few days ago, I think it was actually yesterday, that indicated they could go for a B team. I've had enough. Give the Club World Cup trophy to Messi and Inter Miami. Is that because you like Messi and you want him to win, or you're one of those people who keep crying and think that, you know, Messi gets gifted everything? Because if that's the case, I can't really help you there. WikiDo says for science. Okay, Johnny says yes. Okay, yeah, I'll try it. There's nothing to lose, apart from my dignity, which was probably lost a long time ago. Error! Round is locked. You absolute fools, you idiots, you louses. You can't get a deadline right. Even FPL haven't stooped this low. And I don't like FPL at times, to be honest. Well, Soccer Legendino, I get what you're saying. It is confusing. Like, why is the deadline earlier than they said? But I think it's quite clear now where we lie. Satisfied with the team? Not really, to be honest. I mean, it's a good team. It's all right. I think it's solid, but I probably would have made 4 or 5 changes, I think. Benfica will destroy in the rest of the games and will have a good game against Bayern. It's possible, but I'm guessing you're a Benfica fan. It will only change for next game week. Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't let me do anything right now. Yeah, you can't make any changes, Alex. Unfortunately, it looks like the deadline is locked. Well, to be fair, FPL, it happened... We actually got an extended deadline in that game earlier this season. I can't remember when. I think it was in this calendar year. So basically, half an hour after the deadline, we still could make transfers and stuff like that. But guess what happened? I made a transfer and it backfired and I should have basically done nothing. But enough about that. Messi captain and Doué vice. Nice. Either way, oh my God, my voice is cracking. It's all going wrong. You can change your vice, and also what I would recommend is basically changing your captain. So basically the vice becomes irrelevant. Santiago Gutierrez Noguera says, I got locked out and the game put my Ashore on the bench. What can I do? Yeah, if that's the case and Ashore's on your bench, you can't bring him back in unless FIFA somehow say, sorry, sorry, we actually effed up and we can actually recognize it. Here you go, extended deadline. Yeah, nothing to lose, Julie, exactly that. And the wildcard will be a popular strategy in match day 2 or 3 anyway, so hopefully we can get a good start. Someone is getting fired. Or what if it was the plan from the get-go? I don't know, but it's just really stupid. So I can't make subs until it's open again. So yeah, just for those that aren't aware, by the way, you can make some changes still within match day 1. But in terms of transfers, no, that's locked. You can't make any modifications that way. But in terms of, let's say, for example, you benched Erling Haaland. You can bring him on during the match day. That's still a possibility once the game has concluded, or the first game and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems messed up at the moment. Maybe there's some problems with the programming. I know technology can be quite tough, but they should have figured this out before the match day 1 deadline. Be Honourable says wildcard Game Week 2 active. Yeah, that was my plan anyway, to wildcard in 2 or 3. But maybe if I do really well somehow in match day 1, I'll reconsider. But that's going to be a long stretch. Always been alert that not to be made last change. Yeah, but I wasn't going to make it last minute, I promise. I was literally going to answer a few questions, basically 20 minutes ago, after all the stuff was covered, the graphics, and then lock in my team, then answer more questions, and then enjoy myself, enjoy my points as well. Yeah, everyone's having the same problem, Dave. It's a universal thing. It's not just FPL Tom. It's not just me. It's everyone, unfortunately. I want Dembele out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame you because you would have thought, okay, I've got another hour to make changes, but yeah, you're stuck with Dembele, who's missing the entire group stages. Yeah, if I'm still awake, I will watch the game, yeah, and also, for Lionel Messi. Will there EHAB? I mean, will there be another wild card per se? Maybe. Well, you can always make changes for Game Week 2. Yeah, but Matchday 1 hasn't even started yet. I know you're obviously saying in jest. Do you know how to sub players? Well, my dear friend, it's usually very simple. What you do is you click on a player, you click sub in, and I did cover this earlier when people called me an AI, a robot, and they were kind of dissing me for some reason. So once your player has featured and the game is completed, they will be locked technically, but you can sub them out for players who haven't played yet during the match day. So you can bring those players on. It's very simple. I just showed you. You click on a player, you click sub in, and then you click sub out. What I've just done is probably not good. It's going to reset this and whatever. Who cares at this point? We are locked in. Oh, I just closed that. Let me actually open that tab again and see. Just for those that aren't aware, this is how the screen looks like right now. It says you can make team changes during a live match day, but only with eligible players. Click here to find out more. So it's going to take you to the rules section, but yeah, they didn't get the deadline right. So maybe for next time, let's get our teams locked in 2 hours in advance. I would have gone live even earlier then if I knew this. Yeah, but there you go. Hopefully you saw how to make changes. It's very simple. Yeah, I'm talking about the deadline problems. I'm not a Messi or Miami fan. Okay, fair enough. Oh, yeah. I get you. Okay, fair enough. Can this be an error and they will reopen it? There is a small chance. I think it is an error, to be honest, but I'm not sure if they'll realize. They're probably sleeping right now or, I don't know, playing some video games. Yeah, I think Di Maria is a good option. I might have even gone for him over Actokoglu. There you go. Yes, I went with Kokchu on my team. I'm feeling that he will do really well. Well, at least you're happy with your team and that pick, to be fair. Yeah, I think so, Petros. I think it is FIFA's mistake because it's not just in the UK, even in other parts of the world. They said the deadline would be at a specific time, and it was 1 hour before. Juniper says, I know someone has 16.7 million in the bank and was testing what a full African squad would look like. That's crazy. That is actually mental. If he is watching, I'm not, laughing at you. I'm laughing at FIFA, but yeah. 12-man booster, not active this match day. It is for me, but it might be a curse. This was the mystery chip, took us all by surprise. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's probably going to be better than what the mystery chip will end up being. Might as well have a beer now. I don't have any at home. I'm not an alcoholic. Maybe I'll just go and get one and try to calm down. Why didn't you do your team days ago? Wow. Yeah, sure. Blame the people. Don't blame FIFA. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I maybe should have locked in my team a bit earlier, but I'll be honest, throughout the day I was preparing graphics for this, then chilling, trying to switch off from FIFA. and then kind of focus during the deadline stream and lock in my squad as usual. I'm sorry, but if they say a deadline's at 12 a.m. and then it finishes at 11 p.m., something's gone horrendously wrong there. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just how it is. I was going to lock in my team basically by this point, hopefully, if not within the next 10 minutes. But yeah, basically that's it. So my time zone is met, and it said 1 a.m. for the deadline. Hopefully subs will work. Yeah, it's not a guarantee that they will, but it should do. At the moment, it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, I'm guessing after the first game is done, we can start making subs. But yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, I can't make subs. This is also locked. Yeah, like I said, it could just be a problem with the programming. You know, they're not matching up the way the subs work and stuff with the rules, but it shouldn't impact the deadline either. What did the app tutorial say about deadlines? No City in my team, I might be cooked. Well, let's go. That's actually a good point, because I'll be honest, when I was making the slides and the graphics for the how to play video, I didn't really put the deadline stuff, because guess what? When a deadline passes, your team is locked. Before that, your team can still be changed. That's what you would have thought. But let's go to the rules section. Let's find out how to play the unplayable Club World Cup Fantasy. So let's go to full screen here, and let's bring this on. So let's search for the amazing word called deadlines. Wait, hopefully that doesn't end the stream. End the stream, big man. Wait, what? The word deadline isn't even on the page, apparently. That explains a lot. Maybe they deleted it quickly. They're like, no. We can't have people finding out what it actually was. Okay, so let's see. Leaderboards, mini leagues. Like, I've gone through all of this a few times to compile my videos and my how to play podcast, but I just don't find the deadline stuff. It might be they call it lockout in this, I think. Let's put lockout. Before the lockout, you'll be able to change your captain and vice captain. Okay, what else is it mentioned? Okay, so here, Fantasy Club World Cup will feature a fixed lockout for transfers along with a rolling lockout system. That is something I included in my graphics as well, but that doesn't really refer to the way deadlines work per se, in terms of, you know, it doesn't say, oh, you know, the deadline is 2 hours before the first game kicks off of a match day. It doesn't say that. So the answer to your question actually is they don't actually say it, but transfers are fixed now. Yes, and we can't do anything. Max captain in the knockouts it is then. I would have recommended that anyway, mate. That was talked about in my chip strategy video, and also today when I went through all my graphics one more time whilst the game was actually locking in. Yeah. Actually, not everyone, because some time zones are still able to do changes, but that causes an imbalance. Like, is the FIFA admin trying to get an advantage over the rest? Maybe that is it. Half of the team is auto-filled. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Go. But maybe there'll be a blessing in disguise. Maybe. And then you can wildcard in match day 2, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, Diego Costa will apparently miss match day 1, so you know, unfortunately you can't change it. It will be Ramos starting as a 4-point family and goalkeeper. I did show those updated lineups earlier. I'm crying but enjoying the chaos. Yeah, same here. Like, it's happening to most people, and I'm not enjoying the suffering per se. I know some people might be very pissed off about this, but I mean, you can't really take it too seriously. You got to laugh. It's a huge mistake. Julio Bena says, "Hi Dylan, I am debating 12th man between Messi and Mbappe. Thoughts?" Do you know what's happening, Julio? The deadline is locked, apparently. Maybe not for you, to be fair, but yeah, from those two, my favourite is Mbappe. And that's who I've gone for. Yeah, I think Mbappe, despite facing Al Hilal, he's a good pick. Also, can you switch to captaincy every day? No. As covered earlier and in my how to play guide and the chip strategy video, basically the way captaincy works is you pick Messi now, he plays, you're not happy with his score, you change it one more time to Harry Kane, then he plays, and that's it. You can't change it anymore. So basically, you have 2 shots at the captaincy for every single match day. You can't change it for each day within the match day. So you can't go for someone on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. That is not possible in this game. Unless they got it wrong again. Tournament off to a great start. Yes. This is revenge for us voting Starmer as the PM. Let's be honest though, all politicians are crap. Pretty much all of them. You can't trust any of them. I thought you could make unlimited changes until the deadline. Well, yes, Twister Parky, but they've brought the deadline forward for most people. I think there are some people who can still make transfers. You know what we should do? Basically, let's travel to those zones and then go on the FIFA app. Ah, yeah. Oh, wait, we don't have enough time. Fucking hell. 12th man Mbappe was nice. Yeah, well, I'm quite happy with that pick, to be honest. I know the fixture isn't great, but captain change only once. Exactly that, Anish. Exactly that. Walter Stupaki, the deadline was at 12 a.m., but there's a big kind of kerfuffle happening, and it's now 11 p.m. suddenly, so we can't do anything. Let's open a lawsuit against them. Yeah, they'll probably say, you've had 3 weeks to make your bloody team. Why are you waiting until the last few minutes? Which is a good point, but a deadline is a deadline. Come on. Luckily, we are all wildcarding in 2. Yeah. Just go to the mobile. You can see. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I can't make changes on my phone either. It's locked, it says. So, yeah, the transfers are open for Matchday 2 already. So if I make a transfer, it will be for Matchday 2, not for Matchday 1. So, yeah. That was crazy. So people are still commenting on my videos from earlier, and they probably have no idea what's happening. Yeah, it is hilarious. I can't even speak. It's actually hilarious. Sasko reacts. Stephen Reed says it's under the formation list. Oh, I'm guessing you're talking about the rules section. Okay. Let's go through that again. So that's going to be at the top of the page. So you can make unlimited changes. Wait, what? Mate, they didn't even get this right. Oh, 8 p.m. local time. Hang on a minute. Just everyone. Attention class. Read this sentence. It's unbelievable what they've done. You can make unlimited changes to your team up until the first match of the Club World Cup kicks off at 8 p.m. local time on Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025. Should I say it in Spanish? So basically, the deadline should actually be at 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. in the UK. So it should be 1 hour and 60 minutes from now. But on the website, it said 12 a.m. UK, which is fair enough, you know? It says it there. Bob's your uncle, that's fine. But they closed it at 11 p.m. What are you doing? They're smoking a fat zoot or something. I've never done weed, but something's gone horribly wrong in their brains or in the programming. How can you get that wrong? The rules say one thing, the website and the app says another, and their actions are just off the fucking planet, mate. I have no idea. But yeah, that's what it says on the... That is crazy. Yeah, Dylan, there's a bracket challenge which is still open. Yeah. A game that I still have a chance of winning. Sure, Rohits, why not? That's a great bloody idea, mate. I did actually show you that earlier before all the chaos ensued. So, just to recap, I've gone for Porto to win their group, Palmeiras, Inter Miami, and Al Ahly in Group A. So that's the order of where I think they'll finish. PSG, Atletico, Botafogo, and Seattle Saunders. Then Bayern Munich, Benfica, Boca Juniors, and Auckland City. For Group D, Chelsea, Flamengo, Los Angeles FC, and then Esperance de Tunis, if you can say it like that. Inter Milan, River Plate, Monterrey, and Urawa Red Diamonds in Group E. For Group F, we've got Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Ulsan HD. Then Man City, Juventus, Al Ain, and Wydad Casablanca. Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Salzburg, and Pachuca. That is the order that I think these teams will finish in their respective groups. For the round of 16, I've gone for Atletico to beat Porto, and then Bayern to beat Flamengo. That could be an interesting game, to be fair. Inter Milan against Fluminense, I've gone for Inter Milan to win. Man City to beat Al Hilal. PSG to advance against Palmeiras. Chelsea to beat Benfica. Hopefully that isn't the case. Borussia Dortmund to beat River Plate. And Real Madrid to beat Juventus. So I've also gone for Atletico versus Bayern, and I've gone for Bayern to win. Inter versus Man City. I went for Inter to win. Maybe I'll change that, to be fair. PSG versus Chelsea. I've gone for PSG. Dortmund, Real Madrid. I've gone for Real Madrid. I might go for Man City here. Okay. And then Bayern, Man City. That's tough. I've gone for Bayern at the moment, but that might change. Then PSG against Real Madrid. So I've gone for a Bayern-PSG final at the moment and for Bayern to win the tournament. But yeah, we'll wait and see, big man. We'll wait and see. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Someone at FIFA HQ had their play at 4.9%. Yeah, yeah. It must be one of the plausible reasons. Ricardo, yeah, I am glad you're enjoying it. What's the best time to use the 12th man chip? I think in the group stages. If you're using the wildcard in Matchday 2, that means you can't use the 12th man. You can never use two boosters simultaneously. I used it in Matchday 1. I'm quite happy with that decision. Maybe my pick will be the wrong one, but yeah, I think group stages with the maximum captain, it would be... Let me actually get this up, and let's just skip right to the end where I summarize the best time to use every single one. So let's go here. So yeah, 12th man, I'd say Matchday 1, Wildcard Matchday 2, Mystery Chip, either Matchday 4 or 5 because we don't know what it is yet, and Maximum Captain, I'd say Matchday 7, but you've got the windows for every single chip. That is my recommendation. I explained the reasons why earlier, and just check out my How to Play guide and the chip strategy, and you'll see it as well. Hopefully Gonzalo, and if they do, yes, I'll remember your comment. Yeah, Marius, the deadline was supposed to be at 12 a.m., but in the UK, so that would be 40 minutes from now, or 12 minutes. Unfortunately, it was closed 48 minutes ago, so basically it's done. Now, in the rules section, the deadline was supposed to be at kickoff, so that would be 1 hour and 12 minutes, but nope, they couldn't get that. Wesley Franz says, Botafogo. I'm guessing you're a Botafogo fan. It's intentional to get more publicity. Yeah, but there's a difference between good press and bad press. And also, I think this will put a lot of people off, but that is a good point. All that money and can't tell the time. FIFA, eh? Yeah. This is peak FPL in terms of mockery and derisory. Or derisory. Jesus, some fancy bloody language going on here. It's FIFA, so this should be expected. Yeah, the World Cup was fun. But the fantasy game was a bit of a mess. It was. So they are playing, says Lager. Oh shit, is it? Wow. Messi scored already, yeah? FIFA equals cretins, yes. When it comes to fantasy games, it looks like it. Spend all money on the marketing department instead of the programmers. Yeah, I agree. Why is no one using Gabri Veiga? Only 4.5 million, and even as a Benfica fan, I can tell that he will be a starter. He might not start Matchday 1, though. Maybe you're right, and he deserves investment from the beginning. But I think all the attention will be on Rodrigo Mora, who's even cheaper, and he plays a really advanced role. Is this a different fantasy application? Yes. For UCL Fantasy, it's called the Gaming Hub, so it's by UEFA. This is the FIFA app, but just to reiterate, for most people, the deadline has closed, unfortunately. Hey Dylan, enjoying the stream. Quick question, will we get Man of the Match award extra points? Great question, but we won't. Euros and UCL are both by UEFA, so they've got a similar point scoring system. This will not have player of the match. What I'm going to do for you now is actually play you my How to Play slides. I'm not going to read them. Feel free to pause at any stage, and this will cover every single rule basically, except for the deadline one, which we can forget anyway because we know what happened just now. Yeah, Marius. Well, that's just great. Exactly that. And by the way, I'm aware your messages aren't showing in this screen. That's just because I don't want it to get in the way of the graphics. The site moderators must be asleep or drunk. Yeah, but look, I'm tired as hell and I'm still showing a bit more energy and stuff. Like, they had weeks to do this. Almost UCL winner is a Club World Cup winner. Yeah, most of the time that is the case. I mean, we have a few exceptions. Yeah, I think, who was it? Corinthians? Yeah, Corinthians beat Chelsea in 2012. So there's a few outliers there, but more often than not, it is a European team winning. Mine ended up with City winning. Yeah, I could see that with their new signings as well. If FPL and UCL Fantasy take notes, we are cooked. Yeah, I don't think they will. Does a VPN work? That is a great question. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I'm not going to use a VPN, not on this device anyway, because it will end the stream. And I prioritize the stream over that sort of loophole. But that is a good question, to be fair. The pub in Glasgow is not happy, says Soccer Legendino. Yeah, that is true. Hey Dylan, now I'm wondering if there'll be any deadline issues when trying to make subs. I think it's possible. I'll be honest. What this has done is open a whole can of worms, if you can say it that way. Yeah, it's not looking good. Oh snap, I just found out about this. Do I have time to make my team? No. Because you can for Matchday 2, but not for the opening Matchday because it is locked apparently. I've heard rumours they hire their staff from Fiverr. Wow, is that like a joke? Because if so, that's a good one. But if that's actually true, maybe it shows. What's the difference between UEFA and FIFA? Well, they're both corrupt organizations, you could say. But yeah, UEFA's obviously about Europe. FIFA is the global organization. But yeah, that's a good question if you break it down in more detail. PSG will win it. Hopefully not. Joao Miranda says FIFA app. Yes, that's the way of accessing it. No, Alexandru, it's not the UEFA gaming app. It's not Gaming Hub. Just type in FIFA and then download it, then go to the play zone. But the deadline is locked. Is there any chance they will delay the deadline? Yeah, I'm not going to say it's impossible. There is still a chance, but as each minute passes by, it gets even slimmer. This is the way for people not to talk about empty stadiums. Yeah, I know, but let's be honest, this is quite niche. It's like a very small portion of people who play fantasy games in general, and the Club World Cup is very, very niche in my opinion, but I'm still happy to be covering it. Oh, look, 7 minutes left in the deadline. Oh, wait, no, it isn't. Stuck with Dembele myself. He's my vice-captain. You can theoretically change your vice-captain anyway, and if you change your original captain, then the vice is irrelevant regardless, but yeah, having Dembele there is far from ideal. I've tried changing the VPN, no luck, says Wesley. Well, thank you for trying and letting us know. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no way of breaking the system, apparently. If my fantasy team does badly in Matchday 1, I'll probably stop playing in a huff. Yeah, I think that'll be a common issue for a lot of people, especially those that wanted to make changes. Me! But yeah, they couldn't do it because FIFA can't really tell the time. FIFA may give unlimited changes for Matchday 2 for messing up. Yeah, it's a slight possibility, Anish. That's a great point. I can't really speak on their behalf, though, and I'll be honest, I think the most likely scenario is that they will just pretend that nothing happened and just move on from it. I'm not sure, Ahmed, but that is a good question. I think they said that it was working for them after 11 PM UK, but I'm not sure where they were in the world. Alex Telles is a Matchday 1 hidden gem, says Freeze. That could be a shout. I mean, to be honest, he's probably more appealing than some of my defenders who were in my team for their low ownership, but they have gone up over 5%, unfortunately. Yeah, lineup's out soon. That'll be covered. That was my plan after the so-called deadline was locked. I'll try to stop saying that word, by the way, because it's going to bring some unnecessary trauma. Yeah, Lager just enjoying the show. Yeah, Fiverr is just a website where you can hire people like graphic designers and stuff and programmers for £5. I've never done it myself. It does seem like I bloody know my stuff, but I promise all of my stuff hasn't been, used. I haven't done anything using Fiverr for my YouTube channel. Allegedly, Dylan. Yeah, exactly, Christian. Anyone know if Pavlidis will get the 2 bonus? He's on exactly 5%. Well, in the rules, it says less than 5%. So based on that, it would be no. Hoping they'll reopen at midnight. If so, then fair enough. It will still cost a lot of people, those that kind of just tuned off and they're going to go sleep now. But it's better than, what they're doing now. Yeah, FIFA screwed up. Yeah, Hugo, we literally just got a message by Franz. He tried it and it didn't work, but maybe you need a different country in order to make that function. UEFA is less obvious corruption. FIFA is directly in your face. I think both of them are quite obvious, but I get your point. For example, in the Champions League, I think Real Madrid have won several Champions Leagues with some questionable decisions, Barcelona as well. But yeah, let me not offend the Spanish people here or those that support those clubs. It's just my opinion, all right? Don't shoot the messenger. Al Ahly 11 out. I'll cover that soon. Oh, wow, a positive finally. One of my players is starting. I probably would have sold him, though. Just tried to create an account. I got oops, encountered an error twice. That's weird. Yeah, I think maybe what could have happened as well is that the servers were overloaded. Maybe that happened. Yeah, Sam, if I'm awake in an hour's time, because I'll be honest, I'm quite tired, then I will be watching it. Dylan, if your rank is in the top 10 after Matchday 1, you'll think this balls up is genius. Yeah, look, when something like that benefits you, naturally you'll obviously be more favourable to it. We can be selfish at times. I'll still be honest, like I could be number 1 in the world after Matchday 1 and shamelessly like gloat about it, but yeah, I'll still say it what it is. Say it for what it is. It's an absolute balls up. They've messed it up completely, but I'm number 1 in the world in this dream world of mine. FIFA app seems very messed up. Yeah, you're right, Alexandru. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just not looking good. For those, by the way, who haven't heard me read it, in the rules section, these idiots at FIFA, they said the deadline is at kickoff of the first game. So we should still have over an hour. So, to be honest, they should reopen it soon. Yeah, CI, it's been a massive debate for the last hour, or in my case, 40 minutes, because I was reading stats and stuff like a bot. But yeah, Matchday 1 is done and dusted, apparently, unless FIFA rectify their mistake. They'll make us change during gameplay. I mean, it's not a bad idea, to be fair. It does open up a lot of maybe loopholes and stuff. Like, it could be problematic, especially for them. Like, if they can't get this right, imagine making changes and transfers within a match day. I think the game would just explode. How many people are playing this compared to UCL, for example? I'm not sure about the figures. I think it's less. So UCL Fantasy is like 1 or 2 million. FPL is like 10, 11. A lot of bot accounts, of course. But yeah, with this one, a few 100,000, I'd say. I think fairly soon we'll be able to tell how many, but I don't think it's 1 million. Gonzalo Cruz says, I remembered I locked Messi as captain, but for some reason it didn't save. So have him as vice-captain. What happens with his points? Well, he'll score points for you if he's in your starting 11, but he will only become your captain if you make no subs during the match day. So that means you can't bring on someone who is yet to play and stuff like that, and you can't change your captain. So just leave things how they are. And if your original captain doesn't play, then Messi will have his points doubled instead of your original choice. But I always recommend making manual subs, and therefore in that scenario, Messi will not become your captain at under any circumstance, I should say. Are 5 of the ones that make the AFCON Fantasy? That's better than this. I haven't played AFCON Fantasy, but maybe I should. The thing is, that typically is in January. I know it won't be next time, but yeah, usually it's in January, and I'm covering FPL and UCL Fantasy, so that's already quite hectic. The fact you still have the countdown going, yeah, just in case they actually got their act together. Let me refresh this page and see. No, it's still locked. Imagine they opened it in 5 minutes. Well, I'd be happy, but let's see. When it goes to 12, I will refresh the page one more time. FPL bad luck is haunting us even now. Yeah, but imagine it was like a select few people. That would be even worse. I'm not trying to like defend FIFA. No way. But that would have been like the worst case scenario. Yeah, the rules. Yeah, right. Isn't the best solution to this to give us points for all players picked, even subs? I mean, that's a nice consolation, but not for those who were messing about a bit, who have Dembele and stuff like that. But it's better than nothing, I guess. It's just, it opens up a lot of different kind of permutations and situations and circumstances. I don't think they'll do that. It's not a bad idea. I just don't think FIFA will actually go through with it. Does Vice Captain do anything, anyone? I just covered that DVE. And in my how to play section, and just check out that video, it's all covered there. Essentially, your Vice Captain will become your actual captain if your original choice doesn't play and if you don't make any changes during the match day. So you can't make substitutions and you can't change the captaincy. And then, if that's the case, and you also have a captain who doesn't play, your Vice will have his points doubled instead. But my recommendation is to make changes. So you bring on players that are yet to play from your bench. That's why Haaland is on my bench right now. He will come on later in the match day. And yeah, I'll also have him as another captaincy option if needed. So the Vice isn't really that important in my opinion if you are planning to make manual changes. Dominic says, I think it's ridiculous, but all of participants have a lot of time to build squads for many days and choose the best players in addition to the missed deadline, revised deadline. That's only FIFA. You couldn't expect normal rules. It wasn't an unpleasant surprise. I see what you're saying. Like, I even mentioned that point before, that we had weeks to make this team. But a deadline is very simple. When the deadline passes, your team is locked. You can't make changes. And actually, in the rules, it says the deadline should be at kickoff of the first game of a match day. So FIFA have messed up. Ultimately, they're the ones who made the mistake. Yes, some people, you know, including myself, maybe we should have locked the teams in earlier, but I'll be honest, I had other things to do. I was preparing the graphics for this video, and I was also answering questions, going for all my graphics again, and I was actually going to basically do it, with 1 hour to spare. You know, I was thinking about a few changes, but it is what it is. I get your point, but I think FIFA ultimately are the ones to blame. Still a lot of messages in the chat. Be sure to like this stream if you enjoyed it. Yeah, it's not what you were expecting, that's for sure. Probably one of the most entertaining streams you would have seen from me in quite a while. But we are close to 200 likes. Let's be sure to reach that. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. A big up to Paredes, who gifted 50 memberships in today's stream. Let me quickly check if we can actually have miracles happen. No, the deadline is still locked, apparently. Look, the Matchday 2 deadline is apparently on the 19th of June at 4 p.m. So my plan would have been to start streaming at around 2 p.m. in the UK, go up until 4 p.m. But based on what happened today, expect a 3 p.m. deadline. And yeah, they've just got it horribly wrong, unfortunately. So yeah, up until now, we can't make any changes. The deadline is still locked, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But, well, people are still here. The plan was really to, you know, stream until midnight, 12:30, and, you know, then get ready for the game. But maybe people will still be here, hoping that FIFA get things right. I have Rafael Vega and Juan Martin Lopez in my team with ownership of 1% and 0.1. Nice. I've got no scouting bonus eligible players, unfortunately. Barcelona, did you watch the Inter-Barca game? Yes, I covered UCL Fantasy in detail. So yeah, I did watch the Champions League semi-finals. Marwin says, isn't the best solution to this give us points for every player in our team? Yeah, I did cover your message earlier. I'm not so sure about that. Like I said, I don't think people will do it anyway, so it's kind of redundant. But yeah, I think it just opens up a lot of different like issues and situations. Some people will have basically no players who feature, like they have Dembele who's injured and stuff like that, and they would have changed them, but they didn't have the time, and FIFA closed the deadline early. We had the Al Ahly team a while ago. Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna cover that. Don't worry. Let's see if it's on the FIFA website. Oh, wait. They can't even get that right. Yeah, it's not even here. Let's see. Oh, here, lineup section. Okay, maybe I'm the one who's malfunctioning. Oh. So, El Shanawi is starting in goal for Al Ahly. We've got Yasser Ibrahim, Akraf Dari, and Mohamed Hani. So it does look like a different formation, and there are a few changes from what I kind of predicted in my lineups videos, which are used as a kind of guide and reference point. So Mohamed Ali Ben is starting in the midfield, Trezeguet, Fati, Atia, Ashur, and Koka. So yeah, Trezeguet and Fati, there are a few changes in there. So I got Atia and Ashur right, but yeah, the rest of the midfield looks completely different. Ali up front, no surprises there. I'm not going to get any points for that. Inter Miami, Ustari, we've got Aviles, Frey, Allen, and Falcon starting. So Jordi Alba does miss out, as I talked about earlier in my update lineups video, and also in my, well, in the stream today when I was going for the lineups when the deadline closed. Busquets, Segovia, and Redondo in the midfield. Suarez, Messi, and Allende in the attack. So that is it. In terms of substitutions, yeah, you probably don't recognize most of these players, but yeah, let's see. So Tahir Mohamed, who I thought would start in the winger positions, he's on the bench. And who was the other one? There was one more. I think it was El Solia. Is he on the bench? I can't see him right now. I don't see him. Okay, so El Solia's not there. Unless there's like a different name or something, but yeah. Inter Miami, Jordi Alba's not on the bench. That's quite a small one compared to Al Ahly. But all we're focused on are the starting 11s. And yeah, Baldassar Rodriguez is on the bench, so that means he's back from injury, but not ready to start just yet. So there you go. The lineups are covered. And that's all that really needs to be discussed with Al Ahly and Inter Miami. The guy that hit the lock button is off to the match. Yeah. He's trying to get an advantage over the rest. It's FIFA's way of making sure the servers don't crash. Yeah, but it's, if that's true, that's still not right. It's not right at all. 3 minutes till deadline, guys, said nobody. Well, I did anyway. I thought so, but yeah. FIFA made a mistake. Oh, FIFA make a mistake? Nah, mate, says Johnny A. Soccer Legendina says it's a plan. Easy says just enjoy the show. It's just a game unless you forgive money for winner manager. Well, there will be some prize money mini leagues, but yeah, maybe not after this. Knowing you can only change your captain twice. Well, you can only change your captain once. but you can have 2 captains per match day. Hopefully that clears any confusion. How many goals or assists would you be comfortable with? Well, it's different to UCL Fantasy, right, where you can pick 1 for each day. So in that sort of scenario, I'd be chasing a lot of points and being aggressive. In this case, I think I might even stick with 6 or 7, to be quite honest with you. How many players play FIFA Fantasy? Yeah, I covered this earlier, mate. I don't know the exact figures, but I don't think it'll be as much as UCL Fantasy. Probably a few 100,000. They have sent us all our details to the FBI. Hopefully not. I think FIFA activated the mystery chip early. If this is the mystery chip, then I'm not playing again. I was thinking of changing Sanchez because he probably won't play. Who's going to play instead? Jorgensen. I'm going to tweet the idiots. Yeah, I mean, the more messages, the merrier. Obviously, keep it civil, but yeah, they deserve to be criticised for their F-up. I did a quick team a few days ago. Looks like I'll have to stick with it. You have no choice, I'm afraid, but it might be a blessing in disguise. The best solution is to open deadline before tomorrow's first game, as it's only 1 game today. Yeah, I think that's a good solution. You know, I've said this before. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but in the rules, it actually says it should be at kickoff. So in 52 minutes, when Al Ahly Inter Miami starts, that's when the deadline should close, actually. But on the website, it said 1 hour before. Fair enough. And they took it away from us. Do they have rewards for the #1 rank like UCL Fantasy? I'm not sure they do. I haven't seen anything advertised. Mishi, the deadline passed over an hour ago, not now. That's been the whole debate about this amazing deadline. I played the FIFA Euros and World Cup and the deadline was proper. It didn't suck like now. Yes, I agree with you. The World Cup was criticised a lot, though, a few years ago, because there were loopholes where you could make transfers within a match day, and you could find ways of kind of like gaining an advantage over casual players, which I did cover in my videos at the time. FIFA's actually helping us so we don't have to see Miami nil, Al Ahly nil. I don't think so, because I'd rather have the ability to make changes until the actual deadline. I was planning to make a few moves because I had most of my day dedicated to making, you know, the graphics and stuff ready for this deadline stream, and also chilling a little bit, you know, on a Saturday. Is there any rewards for winning the league? Not my league, to be honest. There's no any rewards. Brain is switching off. But yeah, in terms of like #1 in the world and stuff for each match day, I'm not even sure there are any prizes anyway. I live in Asia now, waking up early before seeing the deadline has passed. Yeah, it was too early. It should have been 9 minutes ago. Instead, it was over an hour ago, believe it or not. If you have Inter Miami as your favorite team, you can still do transfers and subs. No way. Wait, someone says refresh. Well, I'll refresh, but don't get your hopes up, mate. It's still locked. Yeah, it's still locked. I got my hopes up for a second, to be honest. So you have played the 12th man. Annoying I missed it. Well, if Mbappe flops, you might feel differently about that. Best solution is to null and void matchday 1 and start again. Well, it would be fairest if you actually think about it. I think it would be. Well, thank you, my fair Grant M. I appreciate it. Love to the mothers, as they say. Big up, thank you very much. And to everyone else in the live chat. And yeah, a lot of memberships, a lot of chats in today. It's been a fun one. I think that's probably a way of telling me to stop my stream, because it is midnight. You know, people need to sleep. But unfortunately, I never do. No. Where can we play the 12th man? You can play the 12th man... Okay. Okay, if your question is for match day 1, you have to do it before the deadline, which has passed. You can play the chip, though, and the power captain, maximum captain is called in this game, in any match day. So it's not like the wild card where you can't use it in match day 1 or 4. You can use those chips in any match day, but it has to be before the deadline. FIFA won't do anything about this balls up. They just don't give a F. Yeah, I agree, Ivan. It's terrible from them. And it will put people off from future games as well, which is a shame. Yeah, Ashore is starting. 1 positive in this amazing stream. Expect a 12 noon deadline on the 19th. Yeah, but that wouldn't be possible for me. I've got a busy morning that day. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Suarez and Messi starting. No shocks there. I think my Inter Miami lineup was a bit better than my Al Ahly predicted one, but I got quite a few wrong there. But it's mainly used as a guide, you know, for the main assets and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully the other teams are better predicted by me. Let's see what else we have, because I think my chat has refreshed a little bit. I might try this, you know, Hugo. I know you said this as a joke, but I might change like my club or something and see if that gives me any advantage. Okay, surely when you say he was about to cry, he's not gonna cry. Come on, he's not gonna cry. Oh no, here we go. Sergio, oh, I'm not gonna lie, Sergio, I thought you were gonna say something like rude when you said, Dylan, I do appreciate you for not stopping the stream. Luckily, I was not planning any last minute changes. Well, I'm glad someone in the building has locked things in time. But yeah, I was planning to do it after 11 PM in the UK, but that went tits up. Just waiting for my computer to... Bloody hell, it's just freezing. Okay, so Jason Drake says, AFCON Fantasy was a lot of fun. Good vibes tournament in general. Total chaos. Yeah, this is the chaos without the good vibes. Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it. Yeah, Abby Johnson. Yeah, you are technically right. And also, if you look at the rules, the deadline should be at kickoff. I hate to keep saying it, but yeah, we should be very careful about the rules from now on because there could be quite a few changes. I'm not sure, Charcoal26, maybe Twister Parky can elaborate, but the fact that Sanchez didn't play in the Europa Conference League is a little bit of a, you know, red flag, so to speak. Does anyone know why they ended this garbage earlier? What a stupid situation. We don't know, is the simple answer. I think they've made a mistake. Yeah, with the programming. But the rules are different to the times that was stated on the website. And that is different to what we actually got in the end. So it's a complete mess. The deadline was at 11 PM BST. What's the confusion? Really, GC? I mean, I just said it now. Hopefully that answers it. But the rules say deadline is at kickoff. No, that wasn't the case. Fair enough. On the website, it said 12 AM UK time. So BST, British Summer Time. And guess what? It happened at 11. So I don't really... Yeah. Blame FIFA, not the people. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, that's good. That's good that you made your team in advance. I always encourage people to, once the lineup is out, you know, if you wanted to get any, you know, players in and stuff like that, you know, then lock in your teams, have more information. I think the sweet spot is basically 1 hour before the deadline. But yeah, let's not talk about that too much. It's a shame I had changes in mind also. Yeah, it is. It is. But you can't really blame yourself, in my opinion. Thank you once again to my Fairground M. FIFA can have an award for the winner, be presidents, hoover it all up. Oh, can't have it all. FIFA can't have an award for the winner. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Sorry, it's just my brain is switching off. Remember to unlock early your team and Matchday 1 deadline, World Cup next year. Yeah, but the World Cup, despite all its flaws, the deadline was never an issue. Claudette H says, I live in Toronto and was hoping to see Toronto FC versus Inter Miami here at home, but the resale tickets are through the roof. Yeah, some into the thousands of dollars, all because of Messi. That's pretty much it. And there are other former top players like Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets and Luis Suarez, but it's all about Messi there. I submitted my team, I think 1 minute after the fake lock, so it's showing my Matchday 1-2 team for me and not 1. That is strange indeed. Soccer says it's a sign the Sundowns are going all the way. Well, I'm glad that you're finding the positives from this terrible situation. Easy says, should FPL add 12th man or maximum captain next season? I need a water break. They are interesting boosters, but they aren't that powerful, like the bench boost as well and triple captain. But yeah, I don't think they'll do it. I mean, it's kind of a FIFA thing. It was in the World Cup a few years ago. Yeah, and FPL, should I say, they kind of stick with what they have. Maybe there'll be one new chip like the assistant manager last season, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think they will do it. Mohammed says, I preferred making feature number 12 of Mbappe next round 2. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. His fixture's better match day 2, to be honest, but my plan was to wildcard in 2 or 3 anyway, and after the S show of today, I think the wildcard in 2 is very likely. Apparently the deadline for Game Week 2 is just passed. Yeah, that's a good one. So what was the real deadline for Match Day 2? Well, instead of 5 PM UK time on the 19th of June, which is the first game, the website says 4 PM. But based on what happened today, I'd say it's going to be at 3 p.m. So it's a complete mess. It should be 2 hours now before kickoff. We'll see how that goes. I will be gifting 5 more memberships, by the way, for those that are still here. I do appreciate you. It's very late in the UK, so it is obviously massively appreciated. So, yeah, on top of the 50 by Paredes and the 5 I gifted earlier, I'll be gifting 5 more memberships. So that takes us to well over 100 members on YouTube alone. So thank you very much to Paredes, who is a legend of the channel. And once my chat works again, I'll be going through your questions, but I won't lie. I've been speaking for how many hours? How many bloody hours? Like 2-3 hours straight. So I'm going to take a little break. I'm still here, by the way. You'll see my ugly mug, but I'm going to be drinking water. Like, let me just shut up. That's a great idea, isn't it, Dylan? Bloody hell. That was needed. Do I have... Yeah, I mean, it's a different color, but yeah, let's just get rid of the timer. No, okay, let's just keep the timer then. Doesn't really suit the color scheme. Bloody hell. Okay, let's go for the other questions too. How do we complain to FIFA so that admin can extend the deadline? Well, on Twitter, you can contact, well, FIFA. I mean, they will have admins and stuff like that, even at these kind of obscure times in the UK. But, yeah, they don't have a specific page like the FPL website or the FPL, yeah. You can send them an email. I mean, that's going to take ages for them to read it, I guess. But yeah, I'd say email, go to the Twitter. So go to the Club World Cup page. But there's not really one for the fantasy section, which is very niche, unfortunately. I can't seem to change my captain. Are you able to? No, I wouldn't be able to either. You can't change anything right now. So it's just really weird. It's like nothing works. Substitutions, captaincy, vice captaincy, it's just tits up. It's only 7:10 p.m. where I am. Yeah, it's 12:19 a.m. here. You can only change captaincy in between matches. So after the first match is done. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And yeah, that isn't too bad. But I think people have lost faith after the deadline. I don't think Gianni knows about this app. His FIFA social media PR department that do this. Not sure what you mean by that, I'm not going to lie. I only thought Sanchez not guaranteed. They might change it up. Yes, possible. I think he will start, though, as talked about in my predicted lineups. And you've got a solid team overall. Unfortunately, you know, players like Di Gregorio and Actor Koglu, I think their ownership is over 5%. So you can forget about sky and bonus if that's the case. The deadline for Matchday 2 will be 4 hours before kickoff. Yeah, I think it will be, what, so they said 4 p.m.? Yeah, so it's going to be 3 p.m. UK time. So basically an hour before it says on the website, if they follow the pattern from today. Mohammed says, I preferred making feature... Yeah, sorry, I covered this already. So we can't make any transfers, right? No, only for Matchday 2, and I wouldn't recommend that right now. Let me just post my team on Twitter and sleep. Yeah, you should. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done now. We can talk about this later on Twitter as well. Max Captain kind of crap. Yeah, it's something different, I guess. But yeah, it's not like... you're not going to gain that many points unless you get a lot of luck from it. The rules are written on the back of a crisp packet down at FIFA HQ. That is true. Rifat, I think you've said this before, refresh. I've refreshed like 5 times. It's not going to change anything, mate. We are locked in. Yeah, unfortunately, the transfers are open for Matchday 2, so that's done and dusted. Yeah, the game was locked around 6 p.m, 2 hours before kickoff. But that's what I mean. If the rules were correct, it would have been at kickoff. The website said 1 hour before kickoff. That's fine. But no, it was 2 hours before. So, yeah. Basically, for those in the UK, the next deadline should be on the 19th of June at 3 p.m. in the UK. So as you can see here, it says 4 p.m. on the website, but we saw today it was 1 hour before, so 3 p.m. BST. Gyökeres picking Arsenal over United. Yeah, I saw, I think the Times reported it and TNT Sports relayed that information. I'd love Gyökeres. I think he's ready to score 20, 30 goals, even in the Premier League alone for Arsenal. I think he's ready to deliver now, rather than Sesko, who could be ready in a few years. I want Arsenal to go over the line now, not in a couple of years, to be honest. I don't want another FPL chip every year. Yeah, I get that, and the assistant manager was quite controversial. Yeah, I wanted to see Luis Suarez, great player back in the day, and even now he's doing fairly well. I had pizza, homemade pizza, really good, kind of a mixture of Argentinian and Italian style. If FPL and UCL Fantasy take notes from FIFA, we are cooked. They won't, because they've had these fantasy games for years, and the deadline has never been an issue. Maybe the whole game is locked for the whole tournament. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't put it past them. 7:17 a.m. in China. Wow. And it's good to see people from all over the world. Africa, China, in America. England, of course, which is maybe not a thing to really write home about, but I appreciate everyone watching. And of course, those in the UK, it is late. You know, my eyes are literally shutting down, so thank you very much. Yeah, I noticed the park. It's just sometimes I don't feel like I need to, and I'm just answering questions, and then I realize, oh, my voice is cracking, or something like that. I have Vinicius, and he's only 4.8% owned. That's a great punt. I like that. It's not really a punt, to be honest, but the scouting bonus could be really nice. How can I change the jersey color and number next to my team? Oh, okay. So I'm guessing you're talking about the FIFA website. So what you do is, let me see, might as well use this one, right? Yeah, I don't think we're going to go through the rules again, but yeah. Oh my god, I'm literally don't know what is what, so that's why I look like a lunatic right now. So read this, by the way, one more time for those that didn't hear me say it or you know, view it on screen. The deadline was supposed to be at 8 p.m. local time on the 14th of June, so that would have been at kickoff between Al Ahly and Inter Miami. So technically we should have 37 minutes left until the deadline locks in. But yeah, anyway, let's forget about that. To answer Paredes' question, you go to this icon on the top right, you know, the one with the person. You click on it and then click My Account. So hopefully it doesn't show any, you know, oh shit, yeah, it does, personal details. Let's put another screen. So if you haven't already, like my video, yay, yeah, all that good stuff, and enjoy the content. It's actually logged me out of FIFA. That is crazy. What the hell? Oh, actually, I think I was on the wrong one. That's not the way to change it. Okay. Ignore what I was saying, Paredes. Let me show you now. I think I know how to do it. It might be easier on the app, actually, but let's see if I can get this to work. Because even this normal fantasy one is going tits up. So, let's go, I think, to the home menu. Maybe home menu or just play zone. My god, what's wrong with this? Yeah, I think it's the home page of the play zone. Let's see. FIFA Club World Cup. Yeah, play. I think I've got it. Even this is... Oh my god, what the hell is... Find my team, more games. Bracket challenge. Yeah, it's not letting me do it here. So it is a good question what you've asked. It is quite simple, but unfortunately with FIFA, they just can't seem to get anything right. So let me talk you through it on my app. That's the best way to do it. So load up the FIFA app. Go to the home page. Go home page. Yeah, go to play zone. Yeah. So the play section of the FIFA app, it will say FIFA play zone at the top. Then you will see your username. Let's see if I can actually show it on screen because it is on my phone. So yeah, you can see that. Come on, camera, focus. Focus. Let me see it. Focus. Yeah, there you go. Spot focus. Okay, so do you see here where it says my name? It also shows like a profile. You click on that and there's like a pencil icon. So you click on that pencil icon like you're changing an avatar. And then you get like a drop-down menu. Yeah, spot focus. So then you click on that drop-down menu and you've got several options for like women's football. You've got the World Cup. I've changed mine to the World Cup. So if that was your question, that is how you change it. Don't tell me you were talking about your badge on YouTube. Otherwise, I just spent the last 5 minutes chatting absolute rubbish. But yeah, let me know. And let's change this to, yeah. Hopefully that is focused now. Al Ahly just got a new Spanish coach from South African Orlando Pirates. Maybe that's why the lineup is a little different. Yeah, that is a good point. For those teams that have changed their manager, like Boca Juniors, Monterrey, and of course we saw with Al Ahly, multiple changes can be expected. I tripled up on Inter in defense, too risky. It is a bit risky, I think, but if I were to double up on any team defensively, I think Inter Milan would be one of the best ones for the first 2 match days. It's not a bad idea. Deadline match day 2 on site is 4 hours before the first match. No way, really? For me it isn't. Wait, what? Oh, maybe I'm reading. So 4 p.m. No, there is a game at no, actually. Yeah, the first game in match day 2 is between Palmeiras and Al Ahly at 5 p.m. on Thursday, the 19th of June. On the website here, it says the deadline is at 4 p.m., so that's 1 hour before kickoff. But based on what happened today, it should be a 3 p.m. deadline in the UK. But yeah, hopefully that is clear. It's really not much more I can do with these deadlines. I'm just trying my best to help people, but yeah. Celtic or Rangers? I'd rather not answer that because there's a lot of like context behind that sort of answer. You know, Protestant or Catholic? You know, what part of Glasgow are you from? Or whatever the hell you want to say. I've got a bit of Scottish in me, believe it. But that didn't sound Scottish at the end. But yeah, I will refrain from answering. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm not being a scaredy cat. But let's just be politically correct here. Yeah, yeah. Dylan casually downing a pint of neat vodka on live stream. Go on, lad. I'm telling you, this is water. It is water. If this was vodka and I downed it like that, I would be sleeping right now, mate. I'm telling you. Gonzalo says, bar not playing. Yeah, he's injured, as covered in my lineups videos. Can anyone throw the presidents a couple of quid? That will work. That's true. It worked on Set Platter, didn't it? Make a poll with options for the Gaming 2 deadline. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it's literally an absolute nightmare because I had a plan for Thursday already. I need to change that, and basically, if I'm to do a deadline stream, it's gonna have to be even earlier. FIFA, you absolute fools. Relying on my subs now. I still have Gittins. All the best, Christian. That's all we can do now. Hope, pray, and just see what happens. Dylan broke Club World Cup. I mean, look, I'd love to take the credit for that, but you can't always blame me or give me credit for those sort of things. What? It will show match day 2 now, match day 1 for me. Don't give me hope. Wait, what? Did I just... Yeah, it's not for me, unfortunately. It's still... Yeah, it's locked in. It says 0 points. The match day is active, so yeah. If that's the case for you, nice, but not for me. Tell me how to change the captain, where to press. So you just click on a player. So right now, I've just clicked on Kane. So yeah, maybe not the best example because right now, guess what? We can't do anything for some reason. I think after the first game is done, we can start changing the captain. But basically, I'll show you on match day 2. You click on the player. You've got the option to vice captain and captain. So you click on Harry Kane. He plays. He doesn't deliver. Then you can change the captain to, let's say, Doué. And that's it. It's really simple. You just click on each player on the app or the FIFA website. But for match day 1 right now, you can't do that just yet. But hopefully after Al Ahly versus Inter Miami has concluded, we can start doing that as well. By the way, if FIFA somehow like do some weird deadline thing of like tomorrow, there's another one. I'm not going to do a deadline stream, I think, because yeah, I don't know what time I'm going to sleep today after this really late one. Can you explain the captaincy issue, please? With the early deadline, I ended up with Haaland as captain and Kane as vice. If I were to change it to Kane, I wouldn't be able to change it again, right? Well, right now, you're not able to change it to Kane, are you? But basically, yeah, if Haaland's your captain and Kane's your vice, there's not really much more you can do, I'm afraid. You can... Let's see, how do I say this? Because, yeah, you can change the captain, of course. But with the vice, it's a little bit different. So, after the first game is done between Al Ahly and Inter Miami, you should be able to change captains, to anybody you want. So there you can go for somebody who plays before Haaland and then have Haaland as your kind of backup and final captain if needed. So that's the way it works. It's similar to UCL Fantasy, but the main difference is you can't have one captain per day within a match day. But it will be like the World Cup where you have 2 shots of the captaincy per match day. You can change it once after your original captain has played. Hopefully that's clear. And when that happens and you make substitutions, the vice captaincy becomes irrelevant because that will no longer happen with automatic subs. But Ezra says it's working for him. Hopefully other people are able to do it. The screen just changed. Mate, my eyes are burning. My eyes are gone. Don't tell me that it's... Yeah, it did change. Wait, no, that's Matchday 2. That's Matchday 2 for me. What the hell is... What are they doing? Oh, okay, yeah, it's... Okay, yeah, it's... I got my hopes up. I thought we could make transfers, but no, unfortunately, it's just subs. But yeah, you can make changes to the captaincy now. So if you have Harry Kane... Sorry, if you have Haaland captain, but you want to captain Kane first, change the captaincy now before Kane's match starts, and try to do it as early as possible before any stupid things happen. But yeah, it's really simple. Click on a player, click the captaincy option, and then after the game is concluded, maybe I am drinking vodka. After that game is done, then you can switch it to someone who hasn't played yet. Yeah, we can make subs for Matchday 1, but yeah, unfortunately, that's it. But yeah, for some reason, there's no option now. You know how if you go to Matchday 2, you can see next fixture? Yeah, you can't see that for Matchday 1. Like, so it doesn't really help with them. What's it called? With the subs. You need to click on each player individually to see when they play. So Summer plays on the 18th. Haaland plays on the 18th. So does Gvardiol. And Cambiasso plays in the early hours of the 19th of June. Armani plays on the 17th, so there's a few hours difference there between Armani and Sommer. I'll make the substitution if needed. And yeah, everyone in my starting 11 plays earlier in the match day, so 15th, 17th, 15th here with Stanisic, who unfortunately is just over 5% ownership, for fuck's sake. Same with Kerem, so really they're less appealing now. Due as well, yeah. So as you can see, they all play quite early in this match day. Assure's going to play in the next few minutes. Mastantuono plays on the 17th. Harry Kane plays on the 15th, so later today at 5 p.m. UK time. And Garassi plays on the 17th. So yeah, that's all sorted. Mbappe's my 12th man. He plays on the 18th. We'll see how he gets on. So the screen has changed. At least they've actually done something, but unfortunately the deadline is gone. I just played the pair game. I haven't done that. Just the bracket. Maybe Oder, but I'll be honest, I'm feeling really tired right now, so maybe I'm just going to call it an early night for my standards. Damn, I had 5 players under 5%, now only 1. I think I've got 0. Yeah, Svensson is also over 5%. So, look, if they get a return, you're still going to get like a nice rank rise from it, but you're not going to get the scouting bonus, which was the main appeal of these assets. Cambiasso, yeah, he's also gone up quite significantly. So that's why I was going to make some changes. Can't see what you're doing. It's the FPL Dylan stream. Well, yeah, I changed that some time ago. You can see it now. So tired, want to go bed, but don't want to miss in case the game opens up again. Yeah, and also there's a lot of people still in the chat, so I want to, you know, kind of maybe fill the void just in case there's nothing else going on. Ah, really? Well, I mean, look, support your team, but yeah, it's all about COYG. Come on, you Gunners. Ezra says, Dylan, I don't know what happened, but it's working for me. My transfers did go to Matchday 1 when I refreshed 5 minutes ago. But when did you make the changes? That's what I was going to say. Okay. This reminds me of the World Cup Fantasy and the mess we experienced. Yes, but at least the deadline was correct. This is even worse, I think. No me deja hacer cambios ahora, ¿por qué? Desafortunadamente, FIFA hizo una gran cagada, así que en el sitio, si vas a la página de las reglas, dice que el deadline sería en el primer partido. Cuando empieza el primer partido, en este caso Al Ahly contra Inter Miami, cuando empieza ese partido, ahí está el deadline. Pero en el sitio y en el app dice que en el Reino Unido, por lo menos, sería 1 hora antes de que comience el partido, así que a las 12 de la noche. Pero lo que pasó hoy es que el deadline pasó 1 hora antes, a las 11 de la tarde, sí, de la noche. En ese caso es 2 horas antes de que empiece el partido, así que no sé lo que hizo FIFA, pero está muy mal y una gran cagada, en mi opinión. Y ya, And to translate what I just said in English, FIFA fail. Exactly that. You were right. I was talking about the FIFA jersey badge. Yeah, because someone asked the same question, but I thought they were talking about the channel member badge. But yeah, in the end, I finally realized. After seeing this, I wouldn't be surprised if Auckland City won the tournament. Yeah. Or just someone completely random. Did they open something or say about failure? I'm not sure, to be honest. And right now, my comprehension skills are at an all-time low. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, the things, it's looking a bit more normal now, but unfortunately we can't make transfers. It's still open for Matchday 2. For Matchday 1, it does seem quite locked. We can't change the 12th man. That's sealed. You can change the captain and make subs, but you can't make transfers. That is locked, unfortunately. Bar injured. Yeah, he's injured. That was actually covered in my update lineups video earlier, and also in my original predicted lineups. Yeah, but I also went through it one more time today at around 11 PM UK time, which seems like such a long time ago already. Dylan missed another deadline. Wow, are you really going to say that? When was the deadline? Can we still make teams for Game Week 1? The deadline was supposed to be at 12, basically at midnight in the UK, but unfortunately it happened at 11 PM, so 1 hour earlier than they said on the website, and in the rules section, it was supposed to be at kickoff at 1 AM. But there you go. You can't activate chips for Matchday 1, Tommy Raw, only for Matchday 2. Gary says it's working. Is the next deadline going to be fucked too? I think so, but they need to address this. You can make changes now. Yeah, you can change the subs and the captaincy, but I don't think you can make transfers. Yeah, I don't think so, because the only way to make transfers is for Matchday 2, and it says here 2 free transfers, not unlimited, and it shows you the next deadline. So if you were to make a transfer on this screen, it would be for the next deadline, not for this current match day. Be very careful about that. Nice, hadn't touched my team in a week and still got 4 players under 5%. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous, I can't lie. Not a big fan of Caicedo, but I think Upamecano, well, I'll be honest, I'm not trying to shit on your parade, but Upamecano I don't think will start. I think it'll be Stanisic and Eric Tarr. Jonathan Tarr. Estevaldo, I like that pick, and Hakan Calhanoglu if he starts. Yeah, Christian, to be honest, my voice is better than my eyes, so that's the main problem. I have Nasser Al-Dawsari, 1% differential. My favourite Al-Dawsari is Salim, the left winger, but that could be a decent shout. This is pre-season for FPL managers for next season. Yes, but with this late deadline and all the shenanigans, it's not exactly relaxing, I'll be honest. Yeah, I think so, Gary. Like, if it wasn't for this deadline, I wouldn't have said that. But yeah, it's going to piss a lot of people off, not just me. Well, Petros, you... Oh, yeah, you can still do it. Ignore me. I think Messi's a good captaincy option, but I would rank Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe higher. Even 1 or 2 others, potentially, like Elise and maybe Garassi, but Bayern Munich are risky. Change Matchday 2, only subs. Yeah, and you can make subs now for Matchday 1, but yeah, not transfers. Micah Corella is the only one with a green light. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. We can't see others' teams. It's just a complete mess, to be fair. I don't mind having the ability to make your team private to prevent copying and stuff like that, but yeah, I think that's just a product of the FIFA programming being absolute terrible. It wasn't that bad in the World Cup, though, a few years ago. It had its issues. There were loopholes, but in terms of like the deadline and stuff, it was fine. I can't sub in Reece James. It says he's already played. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. It shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, the game's just all over the place right now. Chelsea players are green and can't be subbed in. I think, because I won't lie, like when I was beginning this stream, I, was kind of like fixing some problems with my graphics and stuff. So what's happening now with FIFA and their admins is even worse than what I experienced today in the deadline stream. So it's been just chaotic. It's green because it's upcoming or some heat. I just swapped Palmer out. Yeah, you should be able to do it. I'm able to sub out all my players, but it's all sorted anyway, so I don't see a need to do that. Maybe this deadline can make everyone in the chat be #1 in the game when FPL we struggle. Yeah, someone will benefit from this, but it's not really the type of thing you want to see in a game. I tweeted the fours. I am not expecting to do well. The Euros, World Cup, etc. is where I suck the most. AFCON, UCL, and Prem, I usually do okay. Yeah, UCL Fantasy for me is the one I do best in. I'm very consistent there and I have a bit more luck. I've done well in the World Cup. I finished, I think, top 20k. Euros as well, I did very well. I finished top 10k actually. And then, yeah, FPL recently has been a struggle, I'm not going to lie, but still consistently top 5%, top 1% in the game. But yeah, I do want even better ranks than that. But I'm quite consistent overall, I'd say. But always looking to improve. I'm very competitive in everything I do, I guess. Petro says, Reece James, does this mean if you didn't have a team, you can create one now? Well, yeah, if you create a team now, it'll be for Matchday 2, Petros. But you should be able to now, yeah, since things are looking a bit better, but not for Matchday 1. That's locked. I couldn't do transfers, no subs. Also, at the time, just my players from Matchday 2 did go to Matchday 1. Right, I see what you're saying. If that's the case, though, then you've benefited from it. I knew your pronunciation of Spanish players was too good to be Google Translate. Well, yeah, my parents are from Argentina. I've got double nationality. No flex, I promise. But yeah, that's the reason why my Spanish is okay, but my English is far better. I need to read more and write more in Spanish. Soccer Shocker, Club World Cup, says Gary. Maybe FIFA hired new boys in town. FIFA and UEFA and FPL game is different. FIFA tournament, 4-year tournament. Meanwhile, UCL and FPL is always there. Yeah, but still, it's no excuse, right? This game is messy, yes, but not the kind of Messi you want. You know, the Lionel Messi, aka one of the best ever. This is one of the worst, if anything. They are updating the site on the fly. Yeah. I'll be honest, I think, in my opinion, they should extend the deadline till the first game of basically when we wake up in the UK. So after Al Ahly into Miami, you should be able to make transfers for the games that happen afterwards until the first game kicks off. But there you go. I have Di Maria 4.9%. Yeah, I would have picked him over Kerem Aktürkoğlu. The stadium looks wild. Yeah, and they struggled to sell tickets. Originally, the prices were like over 300 euros, and now it's like, what, less than 50? Is it worth risking making transfers to Matchday 2 and they go to Matchday 1? I mean, you could try with 1, I guess, but I'm not so sure. It might be worth it, like, for someone to try out other than Ezra, who mentioned it earlier, but I think the site was different when he made those changes, so it might not work now. Best rank for me was top 200 in UCL. That's really impressive. The admin probably just came back from the pub drunk. Yeah, well, they're making things worse, I think. This deadline is more confusing than Trent's fluent speaking Spanish in short time. I think Trent has probably been learning it for a while. I wouldn't say he's fluent, but he does speak it very well. Probably better than I do. Messi, Kane, or Mbappe as captain? I'd captain Kane first, and then, if you're not happy with his score, I'd captain Mbappe. So the captaincy is like the World Cup from a few years ago. Yeah, exactly that, Gary. That's the figure I was talking about. 380 euros to $48. No one wants to go. Yeah, the kind of appeal and the hype isn't that big. It does seem quite artificial, this tournament, I think, and also it's in America. It's not a football country. Marino says, I wasn't here for the last hour. Did they unlock the match day after the mistake or not? No, they've only rectified problems where you weren't able to change the captain and make subs for match day 1. For transfers, it's locked because the deadline has technically passed, unfortunately. So we're not going to get any change, I think. Sorry to burst your bubble. Don't get me wrong, do not want screw-ups, but would rather it happen here than in FPL. Yeah, I get that. I mean, FPL is an even bigger game. You know, you probably have more people playing it. You want to win your mini-leagues. So yeah, I get that. Yeah, I do support an Argentinian team, Rosario Central. I've been to a few games, actually, over my lifetime. And I met Di Maria when he was like 17, 18 years old. And I was like 7 or 8 myself. But yeah, he's actually going back to Rosario Central very soon after the Club World Cup ends. Josh says, yo, Dylan, I got the team I wanted to. I went to go deactivate my Max Manager captain. Sorry, my Max... I'm guessing that's the Maxman captainship. As I wanted to do it for Matchday 3 due to rotation risk. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Matchday 3 would be better to use the Maxman captain compared to Matchday 1 or 2. Is it such a bad thing I did it today when Kane is a template? It's not a bad thing. I just think that the 12th man is better used in the early stages of the competition. And I think Matchday 3 is a good time to use the maximum captain, but if not, I'd say matchday 7 or 6, because it's tougher to kind of get the captaincy spots on there with really difficult games to call. But it could still work well for you, to be honest. I wouldn't be too worried about that. As long as you're happy with your team, it's all good. Yeah, Shane, unfortunately, the deadline was closed 1 hour, 47 minutes ago. I have a 0.6% player for Real, says Gary. Nice. I wonder who that is. It's not Arda Güler, is it? Is it Fran Garcia? I'm just wondering, but just make sure they're a starter and you're all good. Ice G says, if PSG win this tournament, will they record in history as one of the greatest teams in a single season? I don't want to be a hater or anything. I think they're a really good team, but I don't think so. I don't think they're one of the best teams ever if they win the Club World Cup. I mean, in the Champions League, the most important thing is that they turned up in the most important moments, but they still lost 2 games in the knockouts and 5 games in the competition. So I don't think they are one of the best teams ever in a single season. Most of us don't care that much about the Club World Cup. They are not doing a good job with fantasy, which may make us more engaged. Yeah, exactly that. If they got this deadline, right, I think that would help a lot. And now they're just basically, a lot of people will not want to play the game. That's the bad thing about it. And conversely, they won't watch the tournament itself. Thanks, FIFA really are a bunch of clowns. Yeah, exactly that. It's a shame because the World Cup, despite its flaws, still had a proper deadline system. Trent learnt from Nunez. Trent then teaching Nunez to miss the target. Wow, that's a bit harsh. FPL glitched twice last season. Yeah, once the deadline went, 30 minutes beyond the original deadline? But that's not as bad as this because you're cutting it short by an entire hour when a lot of people were still, making changes and, waiting for the lineups and stuff like that to lock things in. This is even worse for me. I don't know what was written on the rules, but it was obvious that deadline was 1 hour before. Well, Burak, do you want to see what it says? Let's go through it one more time just to laugh and cry. So, I can just get rid of all this, by the way. I've covered all of this. Yeah. Wait. Transfers open, it says, for Matchday 1. I wish, mate. I absolutely wish it was still open. Yeah, this is the one where it said, look, if I, for example, try to change Cambiasso, or let's do Di Maria to... Sorry, Kerem Aktürkoğlu to Di Maria, it's going to say locked. Yeah, error. Round is locked. Okay, so let's go to the rules section and just show you this one time. So, below the formations, it says you can make unlimited changes to your team up until the first match of the Club World Cup kicks off at 8 PM local time on Saturday the 14th of June. What does that mean for those in the UK? Basically, the deadline should still not be locked, and in 11 minutes, it would close once the first game begins. So it's different to what I said on the website, and it's different to what we got in the end. So yeah, just to Parky, the game will be on Channel 5. They're only showing between 23 to 25 matches of the tournament. And if you sign up with the Zone, yeah, exactly what Laga's saying, sign up to the Zone, and once it's all done, you can watch every single game for free. Petros says, I have Messi, Kane, Adeyemi, Marmoush as captaincy options. Could you rank them? Kane first if he actually starts. I would probably put Messi second, Marmoush third, and Adeyemi last. Yeah, no worries, Josh. I understood what you said anyway. I saw your video the other day when you spoke about Mbappe, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Mbappe basically power captain at the time it was called, now called the maximum captainship, and the 12th man. He was the guy in the last World Cup. Do we have a total player count for this fantasy? No. I'm guessing it's a few 100,000, but I don't think it will reach 1 million. Definitely not after today. Yeah, can watch it for free, but you need to register. Exactly that. DAZN, DAZN. That is the way to do it. Yes, Claudette, Di Maria is a legend. One of the most clutch players for Argentina, especially in recent years. Let's pray for no war. Yeah, that's a good thing to pray for. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was praying for a good deadline. But yeah, it shows that I've got my priorities in the wrong area. Match now on Channel 5. Exactly that. My Fairground M. Thank you for still watching. I'm surprised you're not telling me to shut up. Yeah. Luis Lux says, is it not letting activate the wild card of the 12th man? I'm not sure what you're saying there, but you can't activate a chip now because the deadline has locked. The only thing you can do is change your captain and make subs. That's all you can do. So let's go back to my team.
which is exactly what I talked about in my team selection. Twister Parker says, so funny, PSG being bang average in the league phase, then it all clicked. Yeah, I think the game changer for them was Man City. They were 2-0 down, they made the comeback 1-4-2, and from that point onwards, they went to a different level. I'm surprised when I found out 3 Argentina players have Malaysian heritage when they get introduced as Malaysian national players. What are the names of those players? I'm actually surprised by that. There are 37 more players from Argentina with Malaysian heritage. Yeah, not a bad combination, mate. FIFA skimped on IT. AI is crap. Maybe they did use Rock or what was it? I don't even know these AI names, and I probably shouldn't. 5 hours before UK GMT, says Gary. Yeah, DAZN maybe. Exactly that, Claudette. So Channel 5 in the UK, they're showing the opening match. And if not, just register with DAZN, DAZN, and you can watch it. 1 a.m. equals 8 p.m. Yeah, my brain is fried right now, so yeah. Especially the first deadline, people setting themselves up for the whole tournament. Exactly. Now, you do get unlimited transfers in Matchday 4, but it just ruins things. The wildcard in Matchday 2 will be even more popular now after this fast, but yeah, it's just not what you want to see. Yeah, ChatGPT, that's the one I was thinking of. When FIFA hires admins who rely on ChatGPT to develop their fantasy game, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So just look at Claudette's message. So it's just how they're called, DAZN, DAZN. They're streaming the FIFA Club World Cup for free, apparently, at least in Canada, US. I think it's the same in the UK as well. So thank you for putting that in the live chat just for people to follow as well. For those in the US, many of the games will be on TNT, TBS, and True TV. Yeah, I think different countries have different channels broadcasting it. Why is my X account lagging? Everything is shite tonight. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Even my I had a few issues with OBS. It was kind of changing my scenes, so I had everything set up, and then I had to basically start a little bit later, but it wasn't as bad as what we got from Club World Cup Fantasy. Please, can anyone answer how many times can I change captain and vice captain? Okay, so if you change your captain or your subs, you make subs, the vice captain is irrelevant. It's all covered in my... You know what? I'm going to play it. We might as well. Just read the how to play guide that you're going to see now on screen. Pause it in the relevant sections as well. And this is all covered in my how to play guide. But basically with the captain, you can only change it once after your original captain is played. So just to make it very clear, you have 2 shots at the captain. You go for Harry Kane first, he blanks, then you go to Erling Haaland, who plays later in the match day. And after both of them have played and you've captained them, that is final. You can't change it anymore. And if you do that, then automatic subs won't take place, and that means the vice captain becomes irrelevant. They will not become your final captain under any circumstance if you switch to captaincy or make a sub. If I captain Messi today, could I captain Kane tomorrow? Yes. But after that, after captaining Messi and Kane, you cannot captain anybody else. TBS for the game in the US today. Thank you, David. There are people from all over the world here. I'm guessing this is obviously more accessible in America because guess what? The tournament is hosted in the United States. I watch in a live football app. It's free. Enjoy. And yeah, DAZN is also free as well. Sergio Rodriguez says, I'm watching in DAZN. I'll probably watch it on Channel 5, but for future games, I'll watch it on DAZN. Vice Captain Hakimi or Elise? Elise for me, but I just explained that the vice captaincy isn't that important. I would urge you to make substitutions and change the captaincy, and if that happens, your vice becomes redundant. How does it work if I make 2 transfers but decide to wildcard before match day 2? Nothing really. It just... Yeah, so you won't roll, so you'll have 2 transfers for match day 3 as well. Nothing will change, basically. The 2 transfers become part of your wildcard, and that's about it. How am I going to use any chips now? Or my chips now? 12th man next round, wildcard in 3rd, and max captain in the knockouts? I would consider... that's a good question. I mean, someone raised a good point earlier about using the maximum captain in matchday 3, which could help you deal with rotation in the best way possible, but I would say wildcard 2, especially if you're not happy with your team. I would 12th man in matchday 3, which could be slightly risky, but there you go. And then max captain in matchday 7, if not 6, but basically as later on in the tournament as possible. Free on 5 UK, Yeah, Channel 5 UK and The Zone with an account. Exactly, Gary. Sergio says in Portugal. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, it's kind of a worldwide thing, I think, with DAZN. Yeah, Abdella, it was locked in almost 2 hours ago, unfortunately. It's a shame. Yeah, but basically, we've had an absolute nightmare here with the first deadline of Club World Cup Fantasy. Not the only thing's not working. I got back late because, as usual, British trains are screwed. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Careful with the autocorrect. Cancellations all over the shop at London Victoria. Wow. Yeah, a lot of things are going wrong tonight. Maybe something is going amiss in the world. The stadium is only 3/4 full. Yeah, and guess what? You know, it's Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, and they still can't fill the stadium. They spent all the cash on the opening ceremony. If only they spent it on the bloody app and the FIFA Club World Cup fantasy game. If AI can guide microsurgery and recalibrate a satellite, surely it can tell the time. Yeah, good point, to be fair. I mean, you would think it's more reliable than humans, but guess what? With ChatGPT and all this, who started it? Humans themselves. I think my team is okay, but we might need it in free if surprise eliminations. Yeah, that's why I'm quite open. I did say in my chip strategy guide that the wildcard is best used in either Matchday 2 or 3. I'm still quite open-minded about it, but if I had a preference, especially after what happened today, I'd say wildcard Matchday 2. FIFA Club World Cup in terms, crowd not good. FIFA World Cup next year will be crowded. Yeah, there's more interest in the World Cup anyway, even in a country like America, which isn't, you know, footballaholics, football addicts, whatever. You get my point. Yeah, I think the interest will be much bigger next year, not just for the fantasy game, but also for the tournament in general. Is it a full moon? I'm actually not sure. Maybe? I'll check my app. So let's see. Yeah, it is, I think. It is showing a full moon. Wait, actually. It says next full moon in 25 days. The illumination currently is at 87%. It's courtesy of the iPhone app. Gonna watch the game now. Thanks for all your help, Dylan. Really appreciate it. It has helped me and my team. I'm glad, Josh. I'm glad. Yeah. It's good that some people actually locked in their team before the fake deadline. That's good to hear. Especially for the debut nation, says easy. That's a good point. Yeah. I captain Messi and he'll get a hat-trick. Hopefully, even though he's not in my team. How do I watch the game? It depends where you are, mate. But in most countries, if you go to DAZN, the zone, and you register, you can watch all the games for free. As Claudette said, ticket prices are ridiculous. Yeah. And they did slash them for the Club World Cup because the reception, the demand wasn't really there as they were thinking. Tripping the color was today. My sorry, I actually don't know what that message was saying, and I don't want to say something wrong just in case, but I'm guessing it wasn't anything bad. Friday the 13th was yesterday. Yeah. Usually I don't notice Friday the 13th in a month, but I did this time. I think my team is okay apart from owning De Bruyne. Yeah, that's not ideal. He's at Napoli now, but yeah, he should be fine in general. Hopefully. 100 off the charts, says Claudette. Yeah. I know, sorry, I don't mind KDB as a pick. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I need to check just in case because of Leroy Sané. He's joining Galatasaray, but after the Club World Cup. Di Maria, Rosario Central, but it's going to be after the Club World Cup too. Uzbekistan and Jordan make their debut in the World Cup next year. Yeah, it's good to see new countries, and that's the benefit of the extended format, but I'll be honest, I do like the original. Marcinak, Hop. Oh, he's the referee. I like him in general. There's a few matches where I'm like, I'm not so sure. Argentina against Iceland a few years ago. Even, I say Argentina against Australia in the last World Cup. Then you've got the Inter Milan-Barcelona game. He was a bit iffy, but yeah, generally speaking, he's a good referee. The biggest one, of course, was the ghost penalty from Alvarez against Real Madrid. He was also in charge there. I think he's a Real Madrid fan. That's what the Barca fans claim. TBS in the US, says David. Exactly that. Suarez the Hall, says Alex. No chip use, says FPL Fieco. Yeah, I use the 12th man. We'll see how that goes. Johnny A says, I have Di Gregorio in my team and Armani on my bench. Can I manually sub in Armani before he plays? Yes, you can, because they are both unlocked players. Check out my how to play guide and everything will be made abundantly clear. Even in this stream, I showed the how to play, rules and slides several times actually in this stream. And this KDB is limping like Dembele. says Claudette. That is true. The current moon phase is wanting Gibbos, apparently. Oh, Jesus. Wait, what? Sorry, not sure why, but... Oh, it disconnected. Okay. Okay, give me a second. Apologies. I'm going to end it soon anyway. Sorry, because I'm actually not a robot, believe it or not. So yeah, hopefully that hasn't done anything. But yeah, my Mac was on low charge, and I'm using that to read my messages from the Mac Mini. It's kind of a weird process, but there you go. If you're an Arsenal fan, sign Sesko or Gyökeres, maybe sign both of them. Yeah, ideally I'd sign both of them. I think Sesko has potential, but he is quite raw. I would... I'd rather sign Gyökeres because I want someone ready to score 20, 30 Premier League goals in a season now. And I think Gyökeres could get Arsenal over the line to win the Premier League and multiple trophies. Yeah, Lager's still laughing. That's nice. I wish I could laugh. Good luck all. Off to watch UFC. Yeah, you did say it. A night of Club World Cup Fantasy and UFC. Hey guys, did I miss anything? Yes, Badgeraz. The deadline in the rules section says at kickoff. But on the website and in the app, it said 12 a.m., so 1 hour before kickoff. That's fine. But guess what happened? Things locked in at 11 p.m. UK time. So that's 2 hours before kickoff and 1 hour before the deadline advertised on the website. Uzbekistan football president give all players a new car for the debut first time. They finished second behind Qatar in qualifying. I've seen a few of those examples with international teams, you know, if they get a big victory or achieve an objective. You need to check the player entrances, man. The worst ever. I haven't seen it. I'll be honest. I'm still got everything turned off. I'll probably, you know, watch a bit on Channel 5 very soon or DAZN. I saw Liverpool versus Man City at the Yankee Stadium in 2015. Surprisingly packed to the rafters at 50,000 people. But that was 2 Prem clubs. Yeah, and I think Arsenal Man United also had so many people a few years ago. But yeah, there are a lot of American fans of Premier League clubs. In terms of Club World Cup, I think, yeah, it needs more attention in general, let alone in America, which isn't, you know, as football-centric as the UK would be, for example. Christian says, Dylan, you must be knackered. Thanks for the stream and answering the same questions 1,000 times. To be fair, I mean, answering some repeat questions and stuff is kind of something I'm used to by now, but I understand it sometimes, you know, people join at different times. With this one, it is kind of a unique situation, so yeah. I'm still getting my head around it myself, to be fair. But actually today I did record the update lineups video. I was making the graphics for that as well. And then, yeah, I was preparing the graphics for this stream, for this device, and then I'm here as well. So, yeah, I am going to end it soon. The game has started for Abby. It started 4 minutes ago. What an opening, though. I liked it. Well, it should be 4 minutes ago, right? Or is nothing going to go according to plan today? Let's check. Let me double check just in case. But I think the game is going on right now. I'm not watching it, to be honest. Oh, yeah, it's still not going on. It's giving me time to watch it. Yeah, pretty interesting, yeah? Yeah. Would you pick Gyökeres Matchday 1 in FPL? If he joined Arsenal, yeah, good chance. If his price is decent, I think so, yeah. Behind Iran, who's the number 1. Qatar behind Uzbekistan. Okay, fair enough, easy. I appreciate that. That might be useful for my World Cup research next year. Maybe I'll take a year off if they're going to do it like this. Oh, baby, I like it raw, says Claudette. Which team do you support in the UK? That's what I'm wondering. When you said raw, I was thinking of WWE. Gonzalo Cruz says, this game is so... sugar. I changed my captaincy and it did not save. Yeah, nothing seems to be going right now. Is Nico Rumours going to Barca right? Oh, Nico Williams. For some reason, I was thinking of Nico Gonzalez from Juventus. He's also linked to Bayern Munich, so I'm not sure. But yeah, it's kind of intensifying in recent days. Players just walked on. Wow, it's giving me time to end the stream and watch the game. Gyökeres will do well. Plays Brighton, screw up on the do amazing at Arsenal like Ian Wright. Oh, right, yeah. That's a nice pattern that you noticed there. Hopefully that is... The thing is, Gyökeres might not join Arsenal. He might want to go instead of Man United, but do Arsenal want him enough? Or are they going to be so obsessed on Sesko? Let's wait and see. But hopefully Arsenal get a top quality striker who can help Arsenal win the Premier League and the Champions League. Please, one day. Easy says, players introduced like NBA style. Next year World Cup will be the same. I mean, I get it. It's in America, you know, typically you follow the traditions of that country, but in football, let's not be woke, you know, let's keep things as they are. Claudette says, excellent job, Dylan. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Gyökeres has to come to Juve. Come on, we're all in the market for a top striker, aren't we? Even Liverpool. Taremi not joining the Inter squad. Yeah, he's still in Iran. I heard that yesterday. Grace under pressure, Dylan. Well done. Well, people would disagree because for 20 minutes I was rambling on. Oh yeah, you know this guy called Jae Seok? Yeah, he's a 4 million defender who plays for Ulsan HD. He's playing as a left wing or a right winger. And meanwhile, people are just spamming saying, Dylan, you know the deadline passed. And they're calling me a bot. Are you Mark's S from Severance? I got it all today, mate. Match started. Yes, I'll be tuning in very soon. Claudette says, nah, nothing happening yet. Well, that has changed now. Is Zubimendi essential? I think he could be a good signing for Arsenal, but in FPL, I'm not going to call him essential. No chance. He's not going to get that many goals or assists, despite him scoring against Portugal the other day. Funny if Forest Nico Williams goes to Barca instead. Well, considering their finances, it's more realistic. 4-1 Milan, says Christian United. Is that Inter Milan? Or AC Milan? Yes, I'm still here, Vera. I know. You're probably sick of me, but you can obviously go off if you want. Are you going to watch this one or go to bed? I'll probably watch a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to need a big break. I was actually thinking of doing a Matchday 2 best team video tomorrow because, yeah, the weekdays are looking a bit hectic for me, but I might just have to do it later. And I think we need a break from this game already. Virat says Joao Neves. What about him? Gyökeres is an Arsenal fan. If Gyökeres joins United because of Amrim, well, if he's an Arsenal fan, that's nice. But there's a lot of Arsenal fans at Tottenham, you know, at other clubs as well. It doesn't mean... It is something, but it doesn't mean, you know, that much in the grand scheme of things. Oh, Crystal Palace. Well, fair enough. Enjoy the FA Cup win. That was a nice day of otherwise dismal season, in my opinion. Would you make content about women's Euros? Probably not, mate. I'll be honest. I mean, even this was kind of like touch and go. Yeah, I need a break as well, to be honest. And I also want to prepare content for FPL and UCL Fantasy next season. So, and my knowledge on women's football is nowhere near what it is for the men's, which is already questionable for some people. So, yeah, the answer is no. Why? It's 1 a.m. here, says for Danny. Not sure what you're talking about, but basically they messed up the deadline. FIFA are stupid. Yeah, exactly. Kane was an Arsenal fan, and he kept scoring against us, especially penalties. It's called soccer in America, says Easy. Yeah, but I'm always going to call it football. If Kane not performing, your next captain? Haaland, as discussed in my team selection video. I hope Joao Neves, is he good for the match? Yeah, I think so. With PSG, the main one that's going to be out is Ousmane Dembele. I think Marcelo Allende, Mamelodi will be the best differential. Hopefully I'm not like saying some, you know, kind of, what's it called? Bait? I know the player, Allende is from Inter Miami. There's also another one that I've covered in my Predict the Lamps video from a different team. Messi is just walking. He does that a lot. He scans and he picks his moments and then he obliterates pretty much every team he plays against. But he is 37, let's not forget. And he's still one of the greatest ever. Was talking about a deadline before being at midnight. Well, for Danny, the deadline on the website said 12 a.m. UK time. In the rules section, it said at kickoff, so that would be at 1 a.m. UK time. And the deadline ended up being at 11 p.m. So it has been an absolute madness. Come on, America. I don't know why I said it like that. Get your finger out. Where's the footy? Yeah, a good point. 1Z Celsius says, I'm very interested to see how the African and Asian clubs perform. Yeah, and I also think the weather, I know it sounds a bit weird, but hear me out. I think the American teams and the South Americans could compete very well and be used to the conditions more so than the Europeans, for example. So we could get tougher games than expected in certain scenarios. Why has my username got a shirt with 14 instead? Yeah, I covered this earlier. So if you go to the app, it's the best way to do it. Go to the play zone, then you will see your username and your profile picture, and there'll be like an edit button, like a pencil. You click on it and you can then change it to different things, and you can earn more avatars based on your performance and stuff like that. So check it out. It's the best way to do it. Things will be chaos when the presentation of the trophy in the final this year and the next year. You know who's handing the trophy to the captain of the winning team. Oh yeah, that is true. I don't really think about that stuff. I just want my country to win it. But yeah, Argentina, of course, have kind of fulfilled all my football dreams. Now it's time for Arsenal to do that as well. Still not able to see anyone's team. I don't really care about not seeing other people's teams, to be honest. But I think that's a byproduct of everything else going wrong. So yeah, if that's the case, they've just absolutely messed it up. My first FPL season got 2,395 points. That's really good. Do you think the World Cup or the Club World Cup is too Eurocentric? Well, European teams have dominated, but yeah, I think so. Honestly, a bad way to start a fantasy game is probably the worst way possible for Danny. But yeah, you're all right. Enjoy the tournament. Au revoir, Dylan. Thank you very much. Crazy that Ronaldo at 37 was performing good in the most competitive league. Well, yeah, I mean, let's not forget that Messi at 35, 36 was still operating at a very high level at Argentina and also for PSG. And for Inter Miami, he's still doing really well, by the way. You know, we can't judge based on 5-7 minutes of football. But yeah, Ronaldo at 40 is still going strong, of course. But yeah, Saudi Arabian League is even worse than the MLS, in my opinion. Do you think Cherki and Conceição are going to start? I've got Cherki in my predicted lineups, not Conceição, but both of them have a chance of starting. I think it's kind of 50-50 with both. What's this X I am 15 in YouTube in your stream? It's a leaderboard that YouTube do now for like the most engaged people in a live chat. I care because of my mini league. I want to control my rivals' points. Yeah, I know, but I don't like that kind of aspect of the game where people check other teams and then copy or like do this thing about protecting their lead. I'd rather people do their own thing. Look, I think honestly it's because yeah, FIFA haven't programmed this right with the deadline and stuff like that, and it's caused other issues as well. Big chance for a short, but he was offside. Conceição plays for Juventus. He is the son of Sergio Conceição, who managed Porto and recently AC Milan. So Dylan, we're awake because of Messi. I'm not watching the game right now, Batman, to be honest. I'm awake because I'm doing this stream. This is the latest I've ever done it. Probably never again, unless it's a World Cup or something. Actually, yeah, next year. Oh, crap. One of the teams in this tournament, Orsan HD, yeah, is coached by the ex-manager of my national team. Nice. I don't know who his name is, what his name is, but yeah. Al Ahly just missed a sitter. Some might not have picked their team yet and no team at all, which sucks. If it happened to me, I would not bother. Oh yeah, definitely. I would just sit this one out if that was the case. MMK says poor shot. You tell differentials to people and now people buy them. Ownership gets so high. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say, oh, Karem has over 5% ownership because of me, but yeah, it's a shame that these players now don't qualify for the scouting bonus. That was the main reason why I went for them in the first place. I'm curious to see what they consider as chance created. Well, they should base it off Opta stats. So if they say someone has created, you know, 2 chances or aka 2 key passes, that should be enough for the points there. But I think the World Cup also had similar rules. They talked about, you know, key passes and tackles, and in the end, they didn't really do it, if I remember correctly. Next World Cup, who's winning? It's tough to say. I think Argentina still have a chance. Spain would be one of the favourites. France, Portugal. I still think England, despite their loss against Senegal. A short injured. Don't take the piss, really. Why is under 5% for scouting? Why can't it be 5% and under? It might be, to be fair, but in the rules it says under 5%, and to be honest, we just don't know. Yeah, not really surprised, to be honest. It kind of sums up the opening of Club World Cup Fantasy. Maybe I should have taken this one off. Women's football would be better if the pitch was a bit smaller. Most have the skills, but not the power. Yeah, the physicality might be the biggest issue, but yeah, there are some, you know, really good technicians in the women's game, and I watched the Champions League final. Arsenal, yes, finally winning the Champions League. They've done it already anyway, but, you know. Bujid says, is anyone having issues with the game broadcast? Where to watch? Well, the zone should work for most people, DAZN, if you register with their website and create an account. Holding the shoulder on the side of the pitch, hopefully is available. PES or FIFA? I've mainly played FIFA, to be honest, but I think it's a trash game, and that's why I didn't buy it this year. Another big chance missed by Al Ahly. I'm not too shocked, to be fair, because Inter Miami have had a poor season. Mascherano is not a good manager. But before I go off, and I am going to wrap it up pretty much now, I've gone through all of your questions and comments, and it has been a blast, but I need a break. I do. I need sleep as well. Let's gift 5 more memberships as a thank you to those that have stuck around throughout the entirety of the stream. So yeah, like this video as well, even if you're on your way out. There are still over 100 people watching at 1 AM in the UK, so big up to all of you, and let's gift 5 more memberships, and a massive thank you to Paredes, who gifted 50 memberships earlier. That is, it's legendary. You can definitely take a break for years, for lifetimes, in terms of gifting more memberships. But to Daniel Gianni, to Tobogo, to Kensman, to DHDHDHDHDHD, something like that, and to Feleni, enjoy an entire month of early access to my videos, to priority reply to comments, and all the perks you can see in the description. Old Pez was amazing. I have the Xbox 360. Yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy, so I had the PS3, PS2, PS4, PS5, PS Vita, and PSP. But yeah, Xbox 360 was really good. Women's football will get better, but bigger disparity between top teams and the others. Yeah, that's why Lyon and Barcelona tend to dominate in Europe as well, especially, and their respective leagues. Infantino's watching the match with R9 and Baggio. Yeah, I still remember his legendary speech from the World Cup. Today I feel... I was going to say something, maybe, let's keep it politically correct. Today I feel like a Club World Cup deadline. It's a bit too long, but you get my point. Good night, folks. I can't stay awake longer. Yeah, no, I appreciate you staying on for so long, and trust me, I'm shutting down minute by minute. If you didn't play the 12-man chip, when would you use it? In the group stages, and I'd be targeting players like Mbappe. If I didn't have Harry Kane, he'd be another one. Messi, Haaland, you know, these sorts of players, I think. Javier Mascherano be hired due to connection with Messi. Any new player signed by Miami connected to Messi? Most, not all, but I get your point. Maybe that is a big factor. But Mascherano, he's just been really poor, even for the under-20s for Argentina. This deadline probably more fun than the competition will be. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Is Shaw injured, by the way? Like, did he get subbed off? I haven't seen anyone say that, but we'll see. Shaw missed a sitter. Okay, so he's still playing. He did miss one earlier, though, to be fair. I hope these top teams don't massively rotate. It is possible, though, in Matchday 1. I think Bayern Munich could do it against Auckland City. If that's the case, I could be in the mud. Yeah, let's not even talk about that. This membership is auto, like by AI. Yeah, it's just YouTube. So I click a button, I give 5 memberships, and then YouTube just decide it. I think they base it off the most active people in the chat. So there might have been people who were above in the leaderboards and stuff. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but I did some research, and that's what it says apparently. I prefer Brandt over Gittins, who might not even start. I don't think he will, and he's linked to Chelsea anyway, so he might leave very soon. It's 8 AM here. I wish it was 8 AM, but to be honest, you've been awake, what, since 5, 6? I'd probably go to sleep after. Today I feel having an earlier deadline. It's catchy, isn't it? Is this free version of the zone on a time delay? The free app on my Roku is counting down to under a minute start. Yeah, it has kicked off already. A short off. Oh my god, what a great start. Amazing deadline, a short off injured. I think it's time to call it a night. Thanks, Dylan. Good night. Likewise, Eno. Cheers, Kevmac. Good luck, Claudette. I definitely need it after Ashaw's injury. He is already out of the equation. Christian says crying hard. As in you're crying hard, or is Ashaw crying hard? But either way, my Club World Cup fantasy team is also crying. It's 5:19 AM in Pakistan. Yeah, we've got people from all over the world. I do appreciate it. But here it's 1:20 AM. And I know I typically stay up until late, but I need some sleep. That one transfer you already made. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Yeah, the zone is free live. Yeah, in a lot of countries. First game, devastating. Yeah, this is going to be a long tournament, and we only just begun. But for those that haven't already, like this video, subscribe. We have been live for over 3 hours despite the horrendous deadline and a chaotic start to Club World Cup Fantasy. You can also check my links in the description to my X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Dylan RCM. You can also find me by typing FPL Dylan. There's my Discord server, Club World Cup Fantasy League, and Spotify. The same goes for my Patreon and the channel memberships, where you can get early access to my videos, amongst many other perks. And Perez gifted 50 memberships. I gifted 10 today. So we now have well over 100 members once more, like we did last month. So I'll see you very soon for more Club World Cup Fantasy content. Probably. We'll see if it's even worth covering in the end. But the plan is to do best wildcard team videos, team selections, and deadline streams from Matchday 2 onwards. And I'll keep you posted on FPL and UCL Fantasy when the time comes. Take care. Enjoy the football. Hopefully we get fewer injuries. Assure. Oh my God. You have ruined my night already, if Club World Cup Fantasy hasn't done so already with their stupid deadline. But we'll see what happens in Matchday 2 when I do cover that in a couple of days' time. And I'll see you very,
soon. You know, it's time to call it a day, mate. It really is. I've got my limits. I'm not a robot. I promise. I know some of you think that, but hopefully today's stream has proven that I am not a robot. Good night, take care, and I'll see you very soon.